This is just between us with your host, Cam.
All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Chris, and this is Just Between Us, and joining me tonight is my first co-host, Austin from the Miller Talk podcast. Austin, how you doing tonight?
I'm good,
Good. I am glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'm good.
They're both like already flat because they waited on me a long time. So, and
2.5 hours.
Alan, are you ready yet?
Dude, you're supposed to introduce me already.
Well, I was about to, but I got to make sure. And my other co-host, at First Alan2 on X. Alan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, dude.
You got the camera a little close.
Is it too close?
It's a little close.
I'll do it like my dad.
There you
Hey,
go.
buddy. How you doing there?
What are you, 65?
That's how my dad, if you do video chat with him, he's always like, hey.
Yeah, it seems like there's a certain generation of men, a certain like small period of a generation of men that only know how to hold their phones like that.
Yeah, they don't have any concept of decency or human dignity or anything.
I think that's a little far because they hold their phones close to their
they
face.
just don't
but
care
whatever.
about nothing.
Nothing.
Did you guys do anything exciting today?
Did we do anything exciting?
Besides sit around for a couple hours and talk crap about me while you waited on me.
We actually didn't bring you up one time.
Oh,
No, not
well,
once.
well, whatever. Screw you guys too. I wasn't talking about you either. I can't tell what's going on. Is he frozen?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's
Am I
there.
frozen?
Okay. Your face is frozen, but
Oh,
there's not a whole lot going on in the news tonight. We don't particularly have anything super special as far as we're done with the video. We don't have a new one. We have some stories, of course, and a few things to get into. And otherwise, we're just kind of hanging out. And we will...
no, you're saying it wrong. You gotta go, we have the greatest show that you're ever gonna see. You're welcome in advance.
Coming up in just 5 minutes. So just hang on just 5 more minutes, and it will be the greatest show you ever see. And then also, I'll give Alan an opportunity to pitch his idea for Saturday shows here going forward at some point in the show. And we'll let the audience decide, all right? Did you hear me?
No, I was putting my...
I
What'd
said
you
I'll
say?
let you pitch your idea to the audience for Saturday shows here in a little bit, or just do it
Alrighty.
now, and we'll let them decide. Well, here, let's see. No, we should probably wait a little bit because there's not really anybody here yet.
Where are we, bud?
So I'll remember to bring it up later in the show when there are more people on, and they can decide for us. All right. Seems like a fair
Alright.
way to
To do stuff.
whatever the word is, our creative
You like my new
differences.
coffee cup?
That's the straightest coffee cup I've ever seen, dude.
Very
Mhm.
heterosexual.
That is incredibly heterosexual. Like, it's so heterosexual that you would think a gay guy would have that to blend in to the
To
heteros.
appear heterosexual to his father. Check out my new coffee cup, Dad.
Totally straight, huh, Dad? His dad just up there like this. Uh-huh.
Anyway, leftists are still being leftists. That's pretty much the only news story today. Leftists are still being leftist, and I
Why do you
really
say that?
Nice of them.
I guess there are a couple issues. The most interesting, I guess, news is that Tim Walz is, in fact, now sending the National Guard into Minnesota. But he's also changed his rhetoric to turning down the temperature, which is interesting. Almost like he didn't expect exactly this to happen.
That's the wink. He turns down the temperature. Whenever they say turn down the temperature, they use like buzzwords. They're like, we need to go out and peacefully protest like we always do, like we did in 2020.
Right. It's just it's particularly funny or interesting this time because he was very specifically turning up the temperature before, in the sense that like he was saying, screw it, we're just gonna fight the federal government.
Yeah.
So to then immediately say turn down the temperature is just, even if you don't mean it, it's just pathetic. Like it's
Yeah.
very weak looking.
It's hey guys, I'm retarded for first off, but also I'm a pussy. So can you quit attacking my city like this? Okay.
Why do you gotta talk
I'm not
to
as
people
strong as I
like
thought I
that?
was.
Why do you
didn't
gotta
say that.
say stuff like that?
That's
Why do you?
yeah, that's about right. That's what I heard him say, at least.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
I heard him say
It's not my
exactly
fault. It's a
that.
direct quote.
Yeah, it literally is a direct quote. Yeah. So I haven't read the article, but or any article specifically. I just saw the headlines that he is doing that. Do you think that he's sending in the National Guard to actually go to war with ICE or whatever it is he was claiming he was going to do? Or do you think it's because the protests have got out of hand and he's going to curb the protests? Like the irony that will exist if he actually uses them against the leftist protesters, that might be the greatest screw up a Democrat has had in the last 10 years.
It's hard to say, dude. They have had a lot.
Yeah, but riling up the base and saying we're going to war with the federal government and then to just turn around and go to war with your own citizens instead, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's pretty interesting. I'm very curious to see what the plan is here, because if he gets the National Guard nationalized, he is screwed.
That's true too.
You know, I like how he was like, these are your bakers. These are people that teach at the high schools. And then if they nationalize the National Guard from Minnesota, he's going to be like, they're Nazis. They're nothing to do with you.
Yep.
And it's going to be people from that neighborhood.
He's going to have to say they're all extremists after saying they're all, diehard Minnesotans.
Yeah, which was, it's another example of how language means nothing to them.
Only in a way that it is a useful means to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's useful to manipulate as a means to the ends. Yeah.
Austin's been saying we need to get some of that manipulation our dang selves.
I kind of hope that, or not, rather, putting that aside for a minute, I'm very disappointed that the first time in like 150 years we called together what is technically the militia to fight the federal government, and it's for all the wrong reasons, and it's by a leftist. Like, my conservative patriot side of me wants to be excited about this, even though it is such a bad thing.
I know what it is. I think it's because we've been banging on about states' rights versus federal rights and the constant encroachment of the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels, like, but at the same time, it's them doing it. It's like the concept of war, right? You're like, I'm against war. Unless war is being waged upon me, then I want to be the fucking best at it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I have no other choice but to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. And I think that's right,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only...
Are we at war yet?
That's the only way you don't have war, is by being the best
Ideologically.
at it.
Mm-hmm.
The only way the world has peace is if there is an extremely dominant, meaning like so excessively dominant to everybody else, United States.
I got this, Chris. I got this. Hang on. What the world needs now Is love, sweet love, what the world needs now? That was for the female listeners out there.
Oh,
We'll give them some time to go change and then come back. But
My views just went negative.
so did
It's
mine.
interesting.
All the
Dude, I
channels
just
dumped
got
us
flooded
all at
with
I've never
once.
seen that happen before.
let me just see. Let me check the. I just got a ton of messages here. Oh man, this from a bunch of guys named Steve.
Damn. Guess it didn't quite work out the way you were hoping.
Hey, that blackfired.
Wow. You know what,
Whoa.
Alan? We are not going to tolerate that kind of racism on this show.
It's not racism. You made it racist. I said blackfired. And what that means is black people have been oppressed historically, right? We all know that they're being actively oppressed right now.
Of course, yes.
So if it blackfired, it meant it's a righteous reaction to the constant oppression. You walking down the street with your wallet and your money and your house and your job, all right? And then some black homeless guy deserves to take it because he is being actively oppressed by you having wallet, money, probably,
Job.
You go to church. Black people can't go to church. We know this. Black people can't get a driver's license, and you're just flaunting it in his freaking face, dude.
Yeah, you make a good point. I really need to do a better job at recognizing my privilege and just taking a backseat and letting black people tell me how wrong I am.
It's called taking a black seat. Okay.
I don't want to take a black seat.
You got to take a black seat.
No, they deserve the seat. I don't want to take it from them.
Exactly.
No.
Wow.
It means because
Look how
black
this
people
flipped
have
on
been
its
so
head.
historically oppressed and currently suppressed, taking a black seat means you're living the black experience. Okay? That's what that means.
But the blacks deserve to be sitting because of all the slavery they went through.
Yeah, but that's why you're being treated like a.
So I'm having to sit around while they do all the work.
As long as you're sitting at the back of the bus, Austin, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's where all the guys that smoke weed sit. So
that's where all the Chris and Austins hang out, huh?
Oh, I bet this is a great leftist video. I'm not saying someone should. That's all it says. Posted on Reddit.
I wish somebody would. Yeah.
That's all it says. I'm not saying someone should. Let's see what they say. Hopefully nothing that gets us kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what they say.
You should.
10 minutes into the stream and we're getting banned.
Hold on, I'll start it over.
I'm not saying somebody should. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying anyone should. No, I'm not. Couldn't be me. You know what I mean? But if someone was going, I'm kidding. Don't. I'm completely joking.
Don't.
Nobody should. Nobody should.
This is the fun part too. Is they're such pussies. They can't even just say it. I'm not gonna keep going because I don't want him to accidentally say something that's gonna get us in trouble. Not accidentally,
Deported.
but I don't know what he's gonna say, and I don't want to accidentally get us in trouble by watching it. But yeah, like they can't even just say it. If you mean it, say
just
it.
Send that video to the ICE tip line.
Yeah, just report yourself, dude.
I would rather know who these people are, right? But aside from that, just on a man-to-man level, like, if you fucking believe something, then have the balls to say it, or I have no respect for you.
I really like eating strawberries.
Uh-oh.
I am glad you took a stand, Austin. You're fucking wrong, of course. Blueberries are way better, but I'm glad you took a stand.
I like blueberries too, but I like strawberries.
That kind of
my yogurt.
Oh, I just realized that's my computer making all that noise. Sorry.
What
Yeah, I was
noise?
wondering what was going on.
Oh, it's still going on. I just heard it.
It is not still going on, jerk.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe you fixed it. All right.
Yeah, I think I
There it is
did
again.
fix it. All right. All right. Is it better now? Are you better now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, just checking.
Is
You
it
haven't heard it. Oh, there it is
now?
again.
Yeah, it keeps popping up, but I don't know. Last time I muted him, he got all mad, didn't come on the show for like 3 days, so
Who?
yeah, I don't know who. That's what I'm saying. Who?
What are we talking about? Do you guys remember that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they were talking about the one guy?
That's
When they're
before
like, this guy's such an asshole. Like, he's just so selfish and self centered. And then the guy they're talking about walks up and they're like, yeah, I hate him.
I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't, unfortunately.
Yeah, because
I know.
you're a bit too queer.
The only one I know is the blasting one. And then I just started blasting. That's the only one I know.
Okay, dope.
I'm probably about to get banned from TikTok just for doing that.
I wish you wouldn't have done it.
Why in the world would you go and do that?
I'm
Little bit
sorry.
icky, bud.
My Chinese overlords, please forgive.
We're going to be in so
I don't
much
think they
trouble
will.
now with the CCP. Kim Jong-un is going to personally come and talk to each one of us, and it is not going to be pretty. They're going to have to shut down the whole of I-5 from Seattle to LA so that he can get here.
Mm-hmm.
That's an inside joke for anybody that lives on the West Coast because our communist governors do that all the time for Chinese diplomats.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. They make literally the entire state the entire state's commuters and workers sit around for 2 hours so they can shut down the freeway so a freaking Chinese diplomat who could afford a helicopter ride, mind you, can drive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying somebody should.
I wish a wigger would.
Wow. That you deserve to be canceled for that one.
Yeah.
You know what?
Please stop.
You're turning into the left.
Slowly. That's the goal, right?
But surely.
Now to the unrest in Minneapolis. Anti-immigration protesters clashing with another group of demonstrators led by a January 6th rioter pardoned by President Trump. This comes after 2 shootings, one deadly, involving immigration agents in that city. The National Guard on
The other two
standby
very
if the
friendly.
situation escalates. ABC's Matt Rivers on the scene in Minneapolis tonight.
Tonight, growing concerns over the focus of the federal investigation into the shooting of Renee.
How
Wood
hard must
by
it be
an
for her
ICE
family
officer
to
in
see her
Minnesota.
last few moments every 2 seconds when they turn
Multiple officials telling
around?
ABC News at least
Yeah.
6
Just so the
federal
news can get some
prosecutors in
clicks.
It
Minnesota have
sucks.
resigned over concerns that the federal probe of the
I wonder if there was like
I've already
one
been
member.
seeing memes and meme videos coming out about it too.
I wonder if there was one member of her family that was super excited but couldn't show it because she was just mean to him and brutal to him. So she
Well,
gets killed, and then the family's like, "Oh no! Oh!"
I shouldn't laugh at that because that's messed up. I will say, there was obviously nobody excited, but her
No, like
father.
a family member that she was really mean to. Just suddenly he's like trying to suppress the joy, and so like, but he's also a super liberal, so he's like, "Oh, how can I cash in on this? Oh crap! It's such a conundrum I find myself navigating."
Did you hear what her ex father-in-law said? I think he's the only one that's made a statement, as far as I know. But
Did he say, "How much can we get? How much can we get for this?"
no, he actually said something extremely reasonable. That she was a good person, but he doesn't hold any, ill will towards the ICE officer, and it was a split-second decision, and he feels bad it ended the way it did, obviously, but he understands too that she probably shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. Said something
Just because
completely
he's
reasonable.
a man. You remember what her partner said? She said that everybody the ICE officer he grew up with an abusive father, apparently, or an evil
Of course,
father, and he instilled that racist hate into him, and so he was ready to shoot. And there's people out there literally just sobbing and crying their eyes out. They killed her because she was queer.
I know.
You remember that one? Yeah.
I know.
Or the one, or that other woman that showed up, that was disturbing as shit, dude. That woman shows up and she's crying and she says, I know I shouldn't be doing this. White tears solve nothing. Like, white people having emotions is bad for black people. You remember that one?
Well, duh. You're not allowed to have emotions.
As a white person.
What gets me is we all knew that the left will just believe anything that the mainstream media says, right? We've been watching that for years, especially since COVID. As long as they say it, it happened. Doesn't matter that they have no source. It doesn't matter that their source is, unnamed people that you won't go on record. It doesn't matter that if you read the story, it actually says the complete opposite of what the headline says. They'll still believe the headline. What's worse now is on X, on TikTok, on Facebook, right? Now they believe these videos of these probably AI creators. I don't know who it is.
Sorry.
And they'll literally just say things like, today a protester was molested by an ICE agent in the middle of the street, and then the ICE agent set him on fire. Today it happened in Minnesota, and they'll just believe it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They don't say anything. There's no names. There's no specific locations, right? There's no specific date and time because it didn't happen. It's not real. But they'll just believe it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they say. They just assume it must be true.
So the goal, we have two things we can do dealing with this. We can satire them, right? We just make satire. We can joke about them. The one thing we can do is take anything they say seriously. Because when you get to a point, I'm not doubting that they're not having like real emotional, visceral reactions to things, right?
Sure.
But if you're dealing with somebody who's histrionic, they use that to hold you hostage. And that's what the left knows to do. And that's why they're so appealing to women, because women are empathetic people, right? And so they're more susceptible to that crap. So if you come to them crying, a woman's more likely to go, oh, what's wrong? Some of them. So there's a lot of conservative women waking up. They're like, I don't give a crap. You ate my baby. They have a very different attitude towards it. But
I saw it very... Yeah. Go ahead. Are you not done? Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw a very interesting theory about that today because I forget who said it, and I apologize. I can't give you credit. It's somebody that most of us would be familiar with in the conservative world. But he said
Probably
that
me.
We all recognize exactly what you just laid out about leftist women, but nobody's tried to explain why it is they are more susceptible to this kind of stuff. And he said, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And so it's just a theory, to be clear, but it makes a lot of sense. And it goes back to, and this is also common knowledge, right? But nobody's ever linked the two, as far as I'm aware, that in our tribalistic days, women had to be liked by the group. There was a much bigger social consequence for not being liked by the group, because you can't go out and hunt, you can't go out and fight if you're pregnant, or if you have a young baby, or something along those lines. And so if you're kicked out of the group, you're screwed, basically. It's not the same way for men. Men, if they were kicked out of the group, they were probably going to be okay alone until they found a new group or whatever. And so that instinctual need to be accepted is what in this theory says makes them more prone today to whatever the popular narrative is. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. They don't want to be on the out group.
And this is why if I ever become president, I will repeal the 19th Amendment.
Oh, is that the one that you can't cook sausages on Friday?
Something like that.
That's the one that lifts. That's the one that lifts prohibition. So he wants to reinstill prohibition, rather.
Oh, this guy.
All right.
He hates alcohol, dude.
Yeah, I know. He's anti-alcoholic.
Shooter,
He's anti good time. He's anti good time. That's what he is. He sees someone having a good time, he's over there and just freaking,
As he sips his straight rum from his coffee mug.
Yeah, he's drinking coffee.
This is coffee.
That was the best thing you ever said, dude. This is coffee. And then the dummies that fell for it. Oh yeah, he must be just drinking coffee.
My uncle was one of those alcoholics that he would it would just be straight vodka in his water bottle.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yep.
My cousin come up to me on Thanksgiving and he was like, "You ever heard of an Irish coffee?" Like, yeah. He's like, every morning I gotta make my coffee. I put a little bit of this cream alcohol in there. Like, I think you're an alcoholic.
Wait. Irish coffee, isn't that when you bring in a refugee to molest your children or something? I can't remember.
I thought it was a sex position.
Hey, we're
personally.
live on TikTok. You can't say that.
Oh man.
I thought it was a sex position where you
can't say that. Quit saying those naughty words.
What is naughty about that?
Instead of the Sex Pistols, it's the sex
Guys,
position.
you trying to get me banned?
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry, bro.
If the CCP bans you, I will not shed a tear.
I know how much TikTok means to you.
Yeah.
Yes, resident Gen Z.
I'm gonna take away his.
Oh yeah.
His lifeline to the outside world. All right, let's finish this video.
And more on good
before we get Austin banned.
Possible ties to activist groups.
Oh, this is gonna get me banned. Just this video. But
tension is now mounting in the city after 10 days of protests, with more demonstrations overnight.
I, for one, love the CCP.
Ice out of men.
And despite frigid conditions on Saturday, hundreds of anti-ICE protesters surrounding City Hall, greatly outnumbering a small pro-ICE rally organized by
they're throwing stuff.
The scene quickly spilling out of control.
So
you can't just throw stuff.
The organizers of this rally who are in the middle of that scrum right there, they're being
it's gonna be so stinky.
That's a nice way of saying violent
by hundreds of people who are anti this ICE deployment in the city. The message.
Oh, they're anti. I thought they were for it.
The Minnesota
the anti are attacking. Bro.
Look how much they're clapping and cheering them on. Guys, you're doing such a good job.
President Trump, who had threatened to use the Insurrection Act to send in federal troops, now walking that back.
If I needed it, I'd use it. I don't think there's any reason right now to use it. But if I needed it, I'd use it. It's
last I heard, he did.
A federal judge in Minnesota also temporarily barring ICE.
All of this is bad for
detaining peaceful protesters.
You shouldn't do anything because all of this is bad for Walt.
The order also prohibits federal agents from stopping drivers or other observers of law enforcement activities without a reasonable suspicion of obstruction.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. That was
really funny. Protests aren't peaceful, but the scrutiny spreading to Minnesota politicians too. Multiple officials telling ABC News that Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are now also under federal investigation for allegedly obstructing law enforcement activities in the state. Frey responding on social media, calling it an obvious attempt to intimidate me for standing up for Minneapolis against the chaos and danger this administration has brought to our streets.
Might have been the threats against federal agents,
calling the federal investigation of good shooting into
Tim
question.
Walz needs to be arrested.
Weaponizing the justice system and threatening political opponents is a dangerous authoritarian tactic. The only person not being investigated for the shooting of Renee Good is the federal agent who shot her.
Yeah. The Trump administration continues to say that the agent's actions were justified and that there is, quote, no basis for a criminal civil rights investigation.
So
now to the
what does it have to anything to do with civil rights? What part of that was a violation of civil rights? What do you mean? I don't.
Because they were trying to arrest her. I don't know. I really don't.
There's
she was a
TikTok
sovereign
meme
citizen.
going around. There's a TikTok meme going around that says that ICE is not allowed to engage in like normal traffic stops and stuff, which is just not true. It's like they can do it.
They want.
Well, it's like a game warden. You ever like do something illegal, like just say like Austin when you're down there snorting cocaine. off of a hooker's left arm.
Or on TikTok.
In the woods. Oh. When you're using white powder.
Gotta say you're snorting slow main. There we go.
Yeah, when you're doing that off of a woman of the night left arm. Sorry.
What are you talking about, Austin? TikTok loves the smut in the United States. We're not on Chinese
TikTok. Game warden
TikTok.
comes up, he can arrest you. The game warden's supposed to check for fishing license, and he's supposed to check that you're not hunting deer.
Yeah,
right?
I was fishing, sir.
He can still arrest you for that crime.
Yeah, look at my license.
Yeah, he goes, oh, he's got a snorting
I was just fishing. You can turn around, or we can do this the hard way.
You're like, I was fishing for a good time.
So one of the things that he said in that video was that there was a judge that ruled against ICE in Minnesota. And it's exactly like the ruling that we saw, I think it was out of California, where the judge said, ICE cannot do these things. One of them was they cannot arrest somebody without probable cause. It was they can't retaliate against protesters, is what it said. But the other one was they can't use crowd control devices unless the crowd is, you know, committing crimes or whatever. Like all of the things that are already true, they just restated. I don't understand why they keep doing this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't, does a state court even have authority over a federal agency?
No.
Can
They
Minnesota
can block stuff? Can a state court block stuff? I'll look it up.
Yeah, because like can the Texas Supreme Court block the EPA from enforcing carbon credits in Texas? I don't think so.
I mean, they can, but then the federal law can. It's like the marijuana thing. All the states are legalizing marijuana. It's technically federally illegal. The federal government can just come in at any time and stop it, but they're just not.
Yeah, they've chosen not to enforce, and they do that a lot.
According to Grok, no, a state court generally cannot overrule or dictate rules to a federal agency.
I told you to keep playing it. I said I was going to look it up, dude.
Well, let me know what you find. There's probably
federal
a lot of
law wins when a state law conflicts with federal law, but let's see what the article says. There's 3 exceptions that let states fight back when laws clash. When state law conflicts with federal law, the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution makes federal law supreme, meaning federal law generally wins and the conflicting state law is invalid. However, the outcome depends on whether federal law actually preempts state law, which isn't automatic. Courts must analyze whether Congress intended to replace state law, whether the federal regulation is comprehensive enough to occupy the entire field, or whether it's genuinely impossible to follow both laws simultaneously. The 2025 to 2026 Supreme Court term is already testing these boundaries with cases involving environmental regulation, gun control, voting rights, transgender sports bans, all raising fundamental questions about where federal authority ends and state power begins. In Chevron USA versus Plaquemines Parish, argued in early 2026, the court will decide whether oil companies can escape state environmental lawsuits by claiming federal contractor status. Meanwhile, West Virginia versus BPJ forces justices to determine if federal Title IX law preempts state law banning transgender athletes from girls' sports teams. This affects you if you're confused about which law to follow when state and federal rules seem to contradict each other, if you're facing prosecution,
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Well, there's like exemptions and like how it
IDF.
Yeah, there's
I just
like
got banned on
exemptions.
TikTok. Thanks, Chris.
Did you really get banned?
You can
No.
actually. Well, I guess you can because you're the one streaming. I was gonna say you can't see it, but that's on my side. No, it was just a comment I clicked on that he's.
Just a comment. It's just a virus, Mom.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell that story on air?
Fell down, Mom.
Did I tell that story
Oh,
on
so
air, or
funny.
did I just tell that to you guys privately? I don't think I told it on air. Maybe I
No,
will
we
one
showed
of these
that on
days.
there.
Was it on air? I don't care. Like I'm not pointing that out because I'm mad you brought it
Were
up.
you
I was
super
just
worried
wondering.
about it? Were you super
couldn't remember.
scared?
Apparently, Mayor Jacob Fry says he doesn't want to abolish ICE after telling them to get the F out of the city, which is not surprising, but I
He
don't
said
understand.
The buck stops with me.
Like, I don't even understand what liberals are kind of like going for at this point. Are they just, at this point, do they want no immigration enforcement? Do they really think that they're arguing that we want ICE to follow the law? Because they are. Like, they're just idiots and aren't aware. God, what's wrong with your camera?
What, me?
Yeah.
This guy.
What did I do
Austin,
now?
did his camera go out for you too, or was that just me?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good. Close out and come back in.
All right.
Yeah, because it just keeps saying failed to start.
All right,
We'll wait
hang
for
on.
you. We'll wait for you.
Bunch of babies, what you are. Bunch of
But anyway,
babies.
the point is, like, I don't understand what they want at this point. They just don't want Trump in power. But guess what? You lost the election, so you got him for 3 more years, and there's nothing you can do about that. If Trump starts ordering people to violate the Constitution, I will side with you. But it hasn't happened, and it's not going to. Anyway.
I think they want chaos.
There you go.
They want Trump to do a bad job so bad that they're just, they're trying to provoke something, and
I don't think it's working this time, though. Do you? I agree. They want
Mm-mm.
chaos, right? They're trying to do what they did in 2020, which won Biden the election, which is so enough chaos that people are just even people that are okay with what's going on, they just want Trump out because they want the chaos to stop. The left is really good at implementing chaos until people are sick of it, that they're just willing to put up with whatever the Democrats want to do because at least the chaos stops, even though they're the ones causing the chaos. But I don't see it working this time. The more chaos there is in Minnesota right now, the better it is for Donald Trump, and the worse it is for Tim Walz. This isn't helping Walz at all.
No. All these fraud allegations, and then now your city's on fire.
Yeah.
He's so desperately trying to push it off to Trump, but it's like,
yeah, it's not working.
oh, it's because ICE is here.
I think that's
ICE, baby.
I think that's why he's called in the National Guard, because I think he's going to try and spin it as we're trying to keep ICE out. But I think really what they're going to do is make protesters go home. He's going to say, we need everybody to go home so we can let the National Guard handle this. And then you'll see National Guard everywhere, nobody on the street, and ICE will keep doing their job anyway. Because I think they know it looks bad for them. And I think that's why they're walking some of it back, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just an all-out effort to stop the deportations, slow them down as much as possible. Because when there is just utter chaos, you literally can't deport someone.
Right.
So.
You think so?
Yeah.
What if you wanted to deport everyone, but you just wanted to keep the people that work?
You mean the illegal aliens that work, or the Americans that work?
Just like anybody that's here and they're hardworking that want to work for and be American and go through the legal process.
I still think they have to leave and come back the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, you would say that.
Yeah, I would. I would, in fact, say that.
Sounds like you.
I can say that too. So.
Yeah, it makes less sense when it comes from an Oklahoman, but
that's true.
Whatever.
Yeah. It kind of does. So I've mentioned
because Oklahomans are all on stolen land. They stole it from the Indians. So.
Well, yeah.
I am an Indian.
So you stole the land from yourself?
And you're not a native-born Oklahoman if you don't have some Indian in you.
You're not a native-born Oklahoman if you don't have some stolen land.
No wonder you've been going to the gay bars so often. I would wonder.
Trying to get a little Indian in him.
It's a real thing. If someone tells you they were born in Oklahoma, they ain't at least part Native American. They weren't born in Oklahoma.
He's like, I got a little Native American in me right now.
Yeah.
That's Austin's line when he goes to the G bar. He goes, "Hey, you got Native American in you?" And they go, "No." And he goes, "You want some?"
That's just Little Bear. Don't talk about him.
Oh, Little Bear. He's a bottom. We love Little Bear.
Anyway,
on TikTok.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You keep saying that. It's like really worrying you.
I'm gonna cry.
Like, do we have more than one person on TikTok?
We have
one viewer on TikTok.
We have exactly one on YouTube too. So we've successfully been throttled there with like 3 live streams.
Hey, our one viewer.
Oh, no, it just jumped up to 3.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Apparently TikTok's into this.
Total, we've gotten 47 views though.
Hey, TikTok person, will you comment and ask a question about why Austin doesn't wear underwear?
That's a very oddly specific question to get them to ask.
I just heard it.
It's almost like you want to know about it, but you don't want to ask the question.
Well, I asked him, I said, "Hey, what's the color of your underwear?" And he said, "I don't wear any." So I was very worried.
He lives he's
my home. I can do what I want inside my own home.
It's not your home. It's a reservation, Austin. Be clear. Okay.
It was given to me fair and square.
Yeah.
Hands
Your
off,
ancestors,
Is it 40
your
acres?
ancestors got
Hey,
eradicated enough
were
where
your
they got
ancestors
consolation
just
prize.
marched across the United States, forced to march across the United States into no man's land, into a land that they thought could never prosper? They thought it was just empty, do nothing land.
You know what they
Were your
decided to
ancestors
do?
made to do that? Because mine weren't.
No. Yours did it, and what they decided to do, like, this looks like a great place to do drugs and live off the government dollar.
You're racist.
No, I'm realistic.
That doesn't happen. That's never happened.
No, I know. Those numbers are made up by Jews. The Jews that hate Native Americans, they make up the high amount of drug usage and welfare money that goes to reservations.
Heck yeah. What are we talking
true.
about?
I've never met an alcoholic Indian ever.
Yes, they're all dead.
Hey, watch your mouth. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Oklahoma for some reason.
What I was going to bring up next was I mentioned recently, I listened to the New Liberal podcast. It's one of the only leftist things I can stand. And I wanted to hear what their take was on this ICE situation. And the guy that was on was Matt Iglesias.
Walsh.
The host is Jeremiah Johnson. And basically the conclusion they came to was that Democrats need to stop talking about abolishing ICE, and they need to stop really talking about immigration altogether, because it already looks bad for Trump, and people would rather have some immigration enforcement than none overall. Basically, what they came down to was we need to lie as Democrats so that our voters think we do want or we don't want open borders, even if we do. That was literally the conclusion they came to, is we need to do better at lying. And
true.
It's truly impressive to hear him say it, though. Like,
just out loud.
Yeah.
Do you have it queued up?
I don't have it queued up. I wish I did. It's an hour and 4-minute podcast, though. So
yeah,
I don't know exactly where they said
that
it.
guy's just a loser, though.
Who?
Here, I'll give us a little. I'll give us a little taste.
Podcast.
Hopefully, it'll cover it.
I haven't listened in a while, but there was one they were talking about, like Social Security and what needs to be done, and they basically came to the conclusion that the older generation is just going to live off of the younger generation. The younger generation will pay the taxes that is to fund the older generation that's retired in a continual cycle. So then once you become old, then the younger generation.
Don't forget, while I'm here, to check out the Miller Talk podcast. There's
Yeah,
the
look at
logo
that.
right there, so you can see it.
This fancy logo and everything.
Only thing I
That's
listen
cool.
to on Spotify, besides the JBU show.
It's the greatest.
But here, I'll give us a
What
little.
What about the Allen Man podcast?
Well, when it exists, I'll promote it.
Oh.
I'll give us a little preview here. Oh, look at that. He actually puts chapters in here, or the AI does. So maybe I can
He's
find
so
it
much
after all.
fancier than I am. It is a well put together podcast. Like, I'll give him that. It's kind of nice to listen to. If I agreed with what he was saying, and he wasn't saying the just
I don't need to agree
dumbest,
with
most
it.
brain rot, skibbity toilet type content all the time.
Toilet.
These are the people that
I
fancy
might
themselves
like
as
him.
intellectuals. And I heard him, when I first heard him, I heard him on not a conservative podcast, but a more like libertarian podcast. And the amount of pretentiousness that he had on why he was liberal, right? Without even realizing it, was rather impressive. Like, it's not shocking, but it was rather impressive. And that's really what it comes down to for a lot of at least the elitist type liberals, right? They go, well, we're college educated. These idiots just don't know they're just Neanderthals, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's listen to this short segment here.
I think like broader and more feasible legal pathways. But to have credible legal pathways, we need to be able to say that we're enforcing the terms of the visas that people have. And so you can't retreat to this like hard dichotomy between the border and the interior, I think.
And I mean, this is so tough for me personally, and I'm sure that your instincts here flare up sometimes because
I mean, you and I were doing open borders memes in 2018, right?
We absolutely were. Yeah, I founded an organization that in its early stages very much used a lot of open borders language. We've kind of backed off that language because I don't think it's politically helpful anymore. But like, I absolutely still believe in certain forms of open borders. Like if you asked me, should the U.S. have an open border with the UK and Canada, EU style, I would say 100%.
Okay,
that would be an amazingly beneficial thing for everyone involved.
Okay, go ahead.
They need to be a part of us, not separate entities.
That's the problem.
We can have open borders with Canada if you want to,
make them fit the
enter in
state.
like 5, 6, 7 new states.
Mm-hmm.
We can make a negotiation here.
I saw a thing on the New York Post had an article a few days ago talking about as we've cracked down on the southern border, where they're moving, like the bad people are going up around Canada and coming through because it's just such an open border.
The Chinese,
and it's
did you not
so
hear
easy
that
to get
guy
into
from
Canada?
Yep.
It wasn't like the prime minister guy, but it was like he literally said like we're the Chinese. The CCP is our friend or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to demonstrate your point, Alan, this is what a majority of the border between Canada and the U.S. looks like. It is literally just a blank line. That's it. You can literally just walk right across. There are neighborhoods where there's just a literal gate with a padlock on like a farming road that meets from the Canadian side to the U.S. side. So you can literally just drive straight through if you want to, if you're willing to break the padlock, obviously. Which,
but
of
he
course,
said that's where we're getting a lot of our like terrorists and stuff are going to be moving through there because it's just so less regulated. And because Canada has this open, they just don't lock their borders down. Like anybody can get into Canada, and they don't do super heavy visa checks or anything, and then boom, they just walk across the border in the United States, and they're running free
and in
having
fairness,
a good old time.
And in fairness, Canada has a big problem too because look at all this border area, and they have like 60 million people in the whole country. So all they got to do is land a boat in one of these remote regions. Obviously up here gets too difficult, but there is a lot of area that they can just walk right into Canada, or even land a plane or whatever. It's the same with Alaska, right? They can get into Alaska if they're willing to brave the harsh conditions. Walk across the border to Canada, and then walk across the border into the United States.
Walk across the border? You mean through the Rocky Mountains?
But as we specifically heard him say there, he is in favor of at least certain aspects of open borders. And this idea, I would love to have...
I would be too, if... But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I would love to have like the EU. Well, like the EU is what we have. We have open borders with all 50 states. Because they're part of the Union. EU does not have open borders with any country that is not part of the Union. These are all tiny countries that are no bigger than states. It's the same thing, literally. Anyway, I'll let him continue.
But so all of that to say, like, for me, I believe in immigration. I believe immigration is a good thing, especially in the American context. It's wildly beneficial. And I am trying to, make sure that the future is not dominated politically by anti-immigration people. I am the person who, I hope for listeners who also believe this, that Matt and I have some credibility and that we believe in immigration as a concept. But yeah, I am trying to make sure that we don't overshoot again and end up in this scenario again, because, I'm not very hopeful that we're going to get any kind of political solution to, that actually increase legal immigration. That seems like so far from possible, at least in the current context.
So
But
he's trying to
for me, it's
get
just a problem of,
workaround, right?
number one, there's
That's
the
he's
problem
trying
of
to
what you do. When Democrats
He's like, I just wanna
inevitably get
work
back in
around
power,
his laws.
what
He
specific
wants
things should
Democrats
they
back
do?
in power,
There's also
but
just the
doesn't
problem
want
of
to
how you
undermine the
talk about it.
cause of open
Because, and I'll throw one point
He's
at you
trying to
here.
soften the rhetoric.
There have
He's
been
not
recent polls
for complete
that
open
show
borders,
ICE's
man.
actions
No.
are
Right, of
genuinely
course.
very unpopular.
But
Depends on the
new
specific poll, but
allies, and they should be allowed
it's
to
like
come.
a,
Yeah,
55-30 issue or a 60-30 issue with a
Chris'
10-15%
guy,
undecided in most cases where people
But
don't
what does
like
he
what's
mean
happening
by
with
open
ICE.
borders
They
with
want to see
Canada and the
prosecutions.
UK?
They want to see
You
ICE
mean
stop doing what they're
you can
doing.
come here without a
And there was
passport?
even one poll
Or do you still need a
that I have to
passport?
admit got my heart a little bit
But
excited.
No border,
Where they
basically.
said, "How do you
Same
feel
as
about the
state
phrase
to state.
abolish ICE?"
You should have
And
a
it was
sign out that
+3
says,
positive.
"Send your
which is
Pakistani grooming gangs here."
Like, I just don't get why you're making that argument. It makes no sense.
Because they believe that immigration is nothing but beneficial.
Anybody listening on any of the platforms, leave a comment and tell us what you think. Do we need open borders?
I just lost all my viewers again.
I got 54 on X.
Wow.
Wild. I'm still, despite the fact that abolish ICE is +3, I don't think it will
I just wanna
remain
hear Iglesias
+3
respond to this,
were a
and then
Democrat
I'll
to be
move
president.
on.
I think it would immediately become less popular again. But like that, I'm not gonna lie, my heart did flutter a little bit when I saw.
I mean, this is tough. I mean, I think that the problem here is that there's so many issues where I could come on here and
His
be
heart
your
fluttered
guest,
when
and we could just talk
abolish
about like,
ICE
the
was
left being
+3 in the
loony,
polls.
and they're terrible, and like your ideas
I
are
thought
bad.
of
and
those
their values are
sweaty
bad,
immigrants
et cetera,
coming over with their shirts
on
off.
immigration,
Oh, my heart was fluttering.
I think that economically literate people, for the exact reason that like we understand why like market rate housing is good and like rent control doesn't work and blah 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 blah, are just like quite sympathetic to the case for immigration. And sure, like you need limits this and worries about this and welfare and quality, it's all there, but it's like the mass public just underrates the upside of immigration, I think.
No, I really don't think we
And
do.
yet, just the fact that the progressive view on immigration has some merit to it does not wave away the political problems. You know what I mean? And like, there was.
I'll interpret that in a second.
Did you invent sane washing? Is that you?
No, the political
That
problem
actually
is
was a
people
post that
don't
was
want
first
immigration
invented on the
because they're
neoliberal
too
subreddit.
stupid to
Yeah.
see the
Yes, right.
upside. That's what he just said.
I mean, I have this instinct to
I think
sane
he
wash
gets a break because he's
You know what I mean? To say like,
an
look,
American.
there's no reason why the federal
Because
government
people sucked at
needs,
fighting
like
for a long time.
11 different policing agencies.
Now they get a consolation
Well, ICE didn't
prize.
exist before 9/11. It was INS.
Sure,
Yeah.
although there was an immigration thing, but you just say like, look, like we could consolidate federal.
So that's what he's about to go into. I'll leave it at that. You can go listen to the episode on Spotify if you want to. The New Liberal Podcast with Jeremiah Johnson. I don't know why you would, but he's going to go on to say,
jump off a bridge.
If you just like to be mad, if you're just
There
having
you
one of
go.
those days,
where you just want to be angry.
crappy, the dog peed on the floor, and
Happens.
you brought the wrong dinner home for the wife, and it's just one of those days, and so you just
Whoa,
throw
your
that
wife's
on.
not cooking for
It's
one?
like listening to
Wow.
a sad song when you're sad, so you listen to this when you're just happy.
Mhm.
What he was about to go on and say, though, was one of the things that liberals can do is they can get rid of ICE and just incorporate that role into the FBI or to some other thing. So basically, people won't know that we're still enforcing some rules.
Oh.
Because
He's a
they don't care
thinker.
about lying to their constituents, right? Their constituents are dumb. We, the elite liberals, know better. And so we will tell you whatever we need to make you dumb
You hear
idiots
that,
happy.
Austin? The mask just came off of Chris.
Yep.
We, the elite liberals.
Damn right.
Mm.
Jealous, aren't you?
No, disgusted. is
Look
the
at my
better word.
12 degrees and $1.2 million in debt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
And
none
what
of
that
these degrees are profitable, but I have them, so I'm elite.
You got to put a bunch of fake degrees up on your wall, like,
Oh, dude, I'm so going to
women's
do
studies, you know, and then like
when I get rid of this and go to an actual background, I am definitely doing that. I'll even have you guys sign them for me.
Beautiful background.
Yes, like that beautiful background. You're the only one of us that is
he said
put together
background. Get it right.
Background worth looking at.
Mm-hmm. That's
a beautiful background. Oh, that's heterosexual for once. Good job, Austin.
Thanks. Now I got banned on TikTok for being heterosexual.
So one of the proposals by leftists so far, as far as doxing ICE agents and taking the masks off, is making them wear QR codes. They want them to have QR codes on their badges so that you can scan the badge and find out their name and information, rank.
Genius.
That they're legit. All of these things. Yeah.
And
how do we feel about that?
We should also make the Jews have one, and the
Here we go. Here we
black
go.
People, everyone
we know
should
how
just
the
have a
Native
QR
Americans
code on their chest.
And if
that
it
you
were
can
like
scan,
if it were like star-shaped QR code, that would be even better, right? Because stars are cool.
Yeah.
According to, do you remember when Candace Owens was like, the star, they stole it from Morocco, and it's a pentagram that means death. And then when you look at Morocco's
It was
flag,
the
and it has 5
Sumerians.
points.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a 5-point star.
We learned last night though that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler, and that the U.S. government stole all its technology from the Sumerians, but that technology hasn't worked since 2012. The Mayan calendar wasn't the end of the world, it was the end of the technology.
We're going to study how the Jews are actually aliens that propagated the human race and then turned on their creation. Tune in tomorrow.
Yep. As a little teaser for tomorrow. So this QR code thing, even leftists hate it. They are saying, you know, all kinds of ridiculous things in response, but they hate it, is the general idea. So thankfully, I don't think this idea is going anywhere, but it's one of the many more comical ideas that the left has come up with to solve this problem.
Sure.
Tim Walz has kind of walked back his language a little bit. Do you have a point of personal privilege, or?
No, I'm just cheering on with Hades Biden.
Oh,
I'm cheering on the destruction. So yay, more people in Hades. Woo!
This story by Michael Schwartz from Western Journal. Tim Walz gets the response he deserves after suddenly saying he wants to turn down the temperature. If justice prevails, then unhinged leftists will probably turn Democratic Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota into their latest phony martyr. On the social media platform X on Thursday, Walz had the audacity to insist that he and President Donald Trump, quote, turn the temperature down, my bad, amid protests in Indianapolis that have physically impeded immigration and customs agents' efforts to enforce federal immigration law. As one might expect, X users reminded the governor of his hypocrisy. I'm making a direct appeal to the president, Walz wrote. Let's turn the temperature down. Stop this campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. Then the governor wrote, quote, an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. See, it's because it's looking bad on him, not on Trump.
You know what that reminds me of? When you hit your older brother and then run away.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I've had to tell my son exactly, because my boys are, a few years apart, and I've had to tell my younger son exactly that. You don't get to you don't get to hit your brother and then run away and come, hide behind me or mom because he's gonna smack you back. Don't hit your brother, and it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when you just pick him up and you take him outside and you say, "You wanna do that? Let's do it here."
Yeah, come on, old yeller.
Once Once the younger one gets a little older, I probably will have to, but they're still a little too far apart in size right now.
Okay, well, he'll learn his lesson.
Yeah.
Last week,
if you have a much older brother, you learn your lessons much quicker. It's a fact, Jack.
Me and my brothers used to fight all the time. We just.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw
Is that what happened to your
Dan
face,
Bongino moves the other day.
you want to give
Dan
him
Bongino?
You want to give him the double kick?
Yeah, where's that kick at? That was intimidating.
You want to show us the double kick there, Austin? What you used to do to
Dude,
your
he only
brothers?
breaks that out on special occasions. Dude, even letting people see that kick can cause emotional trauma. So we don't want to.
Are you for real?
Dude.
This was Austin fighting his brothers.
Two viewers wrote in and said they are seeking. There we go.
Double leg.
Did you know that Austin showed Dan Bongino that?
The side kick.
Yeah.
The roundhouse.
Austin is who taught
The
this.
tie kick.
Matter of fact, Dan Bongino is Austin's brother.
The technique's off by just a little bit, but
yeah.
Well, and you called it the kangaroo
He's not
kick,
really
right?
getting his shoulder into those punches. That's the.
Yeah, it's
that's
important
the issue I
to
see.
twist at the hips, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll just
Twist
play
at
that
the
one
hips.
more time, just for why we no longer take Bongino seriously.
This is Karate Man.
We love Dan Bongino.
No.
We love
Double
him
leg.
way over
I loved
there.
him.
Double. The
I
jump
liked
kick.
him until he went to the
The side
FBI.
kick.
Single-handedly
The
saved the
roundhouse.
FBI.
The tie kick.
Single-handedly. Look at those
rode off into the sunset.
like a cowboy hero.
This is gonna be way too late to be any good. I was gonna hit you with the lizard, but
Oh yeah, way too late. You got to get on that, dude.
Well, I
if you're gonna
haven't-
be a soundboard guy,
I hadn't woken up
If
the
you're gonna
drive
be-
yet.
if you're a soundboard operator, you got to be like Austin, where you just hit the duck noise over and over again. Like he's quick on that.
So I used to have a physical. I think I have it right somewhere. I used to have a physical soundboard, and that allowed me to just have it right there. But it just stopped working one day. So
That'll do it.
that in fact did do it. My headphone
That'll
wires
do
trying to
it.
choke me
Okay.
out.
That'll do.
Anyway, where were we? Thank you. Last week, 37-year-old anti-ICE activist Renee Good lost her life in a fatal shooting in Minneapolis. Videos posted to social media show Good appearing to aim her car at an ICE agent who stood in front of the vehicle while other agents attempted to detain her. The agent who shot Good suffered internal bleeding from the attack. Oh, so he was actually injured. That's crazy. Nonetheless, anti-ICE leftists impervious to evidence insisted that the ICE agent murdered Renee Good. Even Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison implied the shooting was murder. Those inflaming the crisis have received encouragement from other Democrats, including Waltz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. Waltz, in fact, recklessly spoke of war against the federal government. In response, many ex-users treated Walt's Thursday post with the derision it deserved. Waltz today. Let's turn down the temperature. Waltz last week. We're at war with the federal government. This is a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota. ICE atrocities. You've ratcheted the temperature up as high as it can go, and now you want to play peacemaker, one ex-user wrote. Other users reminded Waltz that Democrats' hysterical anti-Trump and anti-ICE rhetoric, not to mention their sanctuary city policies, are the cause of all this violence. On Thursday, Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 to restore order in Minneapolis. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he realized, oh yeah, Trump can override the whatever I dictate the National Guard to do. Maybe that was a bad call. Still, even in his nominally peace-seeking statement, Waltz could not help but take shots at the president. The governor disingenuously characterized ICE enforcement operations as a campaign of retribution and suggested that Trump wants chaos. Yeah, that's what's happening.
He does.
The kind of language almost certainly will not quell the anti-ICE violence, nor do we have any reason to believe that Waltz wants the violence to end. Indeed, since they cannot legalize open borders, Democrats like Waltz prefer to hinder enforcement of existing immigration laws. Let us hope, therefore, that Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, in which case Waltz should be the first person arrested. That would be true justice, and it would make unhinged leftists crazy enough to call Waltz a martyr, even if sane Americans would know how phony he is. Do you think we should arrest Waltz?
Yeah.
But what if he's
I'll
the
do it
greatest
myself.
American?
Deputize me.
No.
He's the greatest living American, though.
No.
You don't think he's the greatest living American?
Yes. No to Austin.
Oh, okay.
No, obviously I don't think he's the greatest living American. But I don't think we should arrest him either. He's governor. He has wide latitude to be an idiot. That's the consequence of electing an idiot governor. You're just making
now
a
that
political
we're
retribution.
flowing
if
and
you
we
do
got
that.
some viewers on this stream, I just wanted to say everyone should go to millertalk.substack.com.
Oh yeah, plug your
and
private
check out
show.
my
Go
newest
ahead.
interview I dropped today. It's a pretty good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to
It
hear that.
streams over.
I was going to ask you how that went. You want to tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
how'd
it?
that go? Tell us about it.
It's
bud.
pretty good. Yeah, Jesse's been a guest before, and he was a great interview again.
What'd you guys talk
Why don't
about?
we invite him on this show? Are you too cool?
He doesn't
for
like to
school, or-
talk politics. He doesn't like to talk politics.
Oh,
We don't
well,
have
we
to
can,
talk
we can do a
politics.
non-politics show.
He leads a Bible study in his apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of
Oh, I see. He's one of them. I got you.
he likes to just talk about the Bible and everything. He doesn't really like to get into the politics.
Fair enough.
The most political book ever written is the Bible. So you should probably tell him
But
that.
he lives 20 minutes outside of Minneapolis, so he gave a pretty good perspective on what's going on there from someone who's kind of close by.
Someone that doesn't want to talk politics. Things are happening, but I can't really take a
that.
side here.
Yeah. So like you said, millertalk.substack.com or x.com/millertalk_pod is where you can find that. And he's got a whole backlog of shows there, catalog of shows that you can catch up on, and new ones coming out, every week?
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully, ideally.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a week, maybe once a week. We'll see.
All right, my big idea.
How many interviews I can find and such.
All right, my big idea is we go and do. So on TikTok, they have these like debate me things where it's like, I think President Trump is a Nazi, and they have lines of people, and you can go in and like argue against these, and they're far left, like very far left people. I mean, we're talking trans, racial, and all the things. And I would like for us to like go and talk to these people. These guys are super scared of it, but I'm not.
I'm looking to
So
see
leave
if I
a
can find one of
comment
these
if you
pages
guys
for you.
think that would be fun to watch.
That's not it. Yeah, so what he's proposing is that's what we do on Saturdays for this show. So if you'd like to see us go troll TikTok to try and find liberals to argue with, let us know. This is a live show, so that means all of it.
Yep.
And how do we want to determine whether the audience wants it or not? What would be a fair amount of pro doing that? You can also send an email directly at jbu@usa.com, by the way.
Yeah, and sorry you sent messages to my ex account. I barely check my messages, so I'll get to them. Promise.
Well, I guess we'll
If
see
we
what.
get 1 like on my stream.
Oh, it's got to be about you. Okay.
That means we got to do it.
Yeah, if Austin gets 1,000 views on the Miller Talk podcast last episode.
Yeah, otherwise I'll just go do it by myself and have a good time. If you guys aren't up for it.
Well, why don't you go do it by yourself then?
I would. But I'm
You
scared
can
to
do it by
things alone.
yourself. You're uninvited for my birthday party.
Well, this is a real conundrum you've placed me with.
Whatever are you going to do?
There's going to be ice cream.
You guys were gonna have that
All
big
right.
fight at his birthday party too. Are
I
you
think
really
it'd be
willing to
fun
give that
'cause,
up?
like, I think it'd be fun to have an ice cream birthday party and stuff.
Hell yeah, it
Be a
would.
good time.
Are you really trying to
Yeah.
sell us on how fun an ice cream party would be? Because, duh.
No, I didn't think you were American.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you just don't act American sometimes.
It'd be really funny if ice kicked in my door right now.
FBI,
Go
open
back
up.
to Ireland.
So, what about this? How do you feel about this? There was a pro-ICE protest in Minneapolis today by apparently a conservative YouTuber. Let me see. Jake Lang. I'm not familiar with Jake Lang. But anyway, he went and had a pro-ICE protest in Minneapolis, knowing that it's going to get a bad reaction, obviously. And it did. So I'll play the video here. It ultimately gets violent. I don't think this video gets violent. This dude is trying to help him, it seems like, but he doesn't seem to realize that, like, you're just making it worse, bud. There's some genuine terror in that guy's face, and there probably should be. I think he realizes how stupid his actions were at this point. I'm not saying it's okay that the mob did this, obviously, but there is a lot of study out there on the way people act in mobs, and you should have seen this coming.
So, you're saying in the streets of America, don't do anything that might upset the woke.
I'm saying don't walk into a violent leftist mob that is already violent and start screaming the opposite of whatever they're being violent about. That's just stupid.
So mob rule. Mob rule.
Well, he somehow made it to another window.
Hey, American flag. I wonder what that's there for.
So, here's the thing. I don't like that he did this, and I think this is, like, hurting the cause.
Well, this is what Austin was talking about, like going out and doing protests on the conservative side, because we never do. They've learned to never fear conservatives, because not fear as in, you know, like we're going to hurt them, but they know that we're not going to organize. They know that we're just going to be like watching on our phones going, oh, they stink. Look at these stinkers. And while they go through and burn down a town.
This is the thing that we've talked about many times, right? Conservatives, generally speaking, have families, have jobs, and I'm not saying that every leftist doesn't, but as a whole,
They
there
bring
are
their
a
kids.
lot
We just
higher
saw videos
percentage.
today where they're bringing their kids with them.
Yeah, there's a lot higher percentage of conservatives with families and with jobs and with other things to do that they don't go out and protest.
Yeah, like record our
However,
podcasts.
what generally happens?
90% of podcasters are white men.
Oh no. What generally happens is the left will eventually cross a line, and then the right goes out and they don't go home until they fix things or whatever happens, right?
Yeah, so we shouldn't go out and demonstrate.
We're just going to talk about it.
Yeah, it's actually, the thing is, whenever you have conservatives that go out and demonstrate, they say it's a Nazi rally. That's basically what that's their MO.
So I'm not saying that we shouldn't.
Schnazzy.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't go out and protest or hold rallies or whatever. I don't think it's very effective, and I don't think it's useful. What I'm saying is, don't do stupid stuff like this for clicks that is just going to, you know, rile up the, because what's going to happen? There's going to be an overreaction. Now you're going to have a bunch of conservatives calling for violence against the mob, and that's not helpful. That's counterproductive. Let these guys burn their own city. And I'm not saying don't arrest people that commit
crimes. Now, they're not all 100% Democrat cities. So, like, what if you're a conservative, like a small group of conservatives? Should we go, like, rooftop Korean? Or should we just let them burn it down? You know, they talk about the insurance covering all the shops that they burn down.
Here's what I'll say.
But the fact is,
you
they
have
don't.
a right. You have a right to defend your property. Period. Now, what your state laws are, I can't interfere with.
Not in every state.
Well, that's what I said. What your state laws are, I can't say. But generally speaking, in this country, you have a right to defend your life, your family, your property, and your neighbors.
And look how they deal, like, one-on-one. Like, they'll jump a conservative guy just walking with a MAGA hat on.
Yeah.
And the intention is to make it so that you don't wear anything.
But we're talking about two different things now, too, though. We're talking about the mob going after people who are minding their own business versus people going into the mob to get a violent reaction, which is then going to respond in a violent reaction, which is only going to escalate things. We should stay as far away from this as possible because this is Tim Walt's mess right now. But the more we get involved, the more it becomes our mess.
Triggered them.
He was holding a pro-ICE rally in the middle of their anti-ICE rally.
Yeah,
I didn't say it was a sin. I didn't say it was okay what they're doing.
Yeah, that's...
My goal is to win the war, not the battle.
Intimidation win if you're not willing to stand up. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not, because they're not convincing anybody. They're just throwing a temper tantrum. Let the police deal with it, not
people into silence, and then they're getting more people, especially young people. So it looks like they're more and more right. People that are undecided, they go, well, these people are coming out en masse, and what are the conservatives doing? Making podcasts, you know?
Do you think the conservatives that are making podcasts are more effectively and more convincingly reaching more people than these idiots in the street?
Well, sometimes I get shot in the throat.
There's like 5 people watching my stream right now. I'm doing a lot.
I'm not talking about just us. I'm talking about the conservatives that do podcasts that reach literally tens of millions of people.
Sometimes they get shot in the throat.
Yeah, they do.
For going out and making podcasts.
I know. Are you saying it's time for civil war?
I'm saying it's time to understand the way the rules have changed. Like we were talking yesterday.
I think it's time to pick a side.
Yeah, because you have people. We're playing chess.
I'm not arguing either of those things.
We're playing chess, and they've decided that they can move their pieces however we want, and we're still moving the pieces according to the rules.
Yes.
At what point? And then they keep claiming victory, though. They keep getting wins because we're like, well, we don't want to upset the mob.
What win have they claimed?
And we don't. They've gotten. I mean, just look at the legislation they got passed, like during BLM. I mean, they were able to defund 100 police departments.
Yeah, 2020 was their last.
And cut their funding down, and it took 2 years to overcorrect that. I mean, to correct back, and it's still not at the numbers it was. But they were able to accomplish a political aim.
Yeah, and it's almost all been reversed since that. And I agree, it's not fully reversed, but it backfired on them ultimately. I'm not saying that we stop doing anything. I'm saying that going out into the streets like they do is not, it doesn't help anything. You don't convince people to join you. You just get the other, radicals to come out and scream at each other together. That's it. And in this specific situation, by responding to these riots with civilians, basically, right-wingers going out and counter-protesting or confronting the mob or whatever, we have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Let the police deal with it. Let Minnesota deal with it. And continue on with something beneficial elsewhere. Because
what does that mean?
There's nothing to gain by doing this.
There's nothing to gain.
Well, there's all kinds of things.
We will meet you out in, we will also have protests. Look how effective that was in England when they had the Rally the Kingdom protest. 1 million people showed up. It actually scared the government.
and they're still bringing in millions of people on boats.
Yeah, but now you're hearing even left-wing politicians.
What I'm hearing is you want to do the
for rhetoric that because they realize they're going to lose their seats. Like people are.
So you want to do things for show.
And also, when you have 1 million people march, there's people going, "What's this about? What's going on here?" People that just have their head fully inserted in their butt, and they don't know the stuff that's happening, and then they hear about it and they go, "Oh, I guess they're really upset about this."
When you see a leftist in the street screaming, that opens you to their position.
We wouldn't do it that way. We wouldn't go out and scream and do that. We would do
what
it
do
a
people do
conservative
when they
way.
get into
march
crowds?
in order and in fashion, and so they can call us Nazis. Yeah.
With very clean uniforms. Yeah. I
I
don't think protesting accomplishes anything, and I think there's far more constructive uses of conservatives' time. Yes, I agree. Conservatives need to start doing more things, right? To stop staying on the sidelines and not paying attention. But things that actually make a difference are voting and being an informed voter. That's part of it. Introducing legislation, lobbying, starting whatever they're called, firms that, like the Heritage Foundation or whatever. I don't love that, but that is what's effective right now. And talking to people generally one-on-one, that is far more effective. Just talking to the people that you come in contact with every day one-on-one and being a friendly, decent person to interact with, and just being a decent person in general is far more effective than getting together in a group and walking down Main Street. Everything the left does is for performance, and protests are part of that. It's just a performance. That's it.
Yeah.
One of those options is
then why would we do it?
Entertaining, though.
I agree with that. It is much more entertaining.
Also, it breeds this unity among them where they vote amongst in their voting block. That's a big thing.
They
can get together and do their voting stuff.
I don't want conservatives to be a big monolith, though. I don't want us to be lockstep like the left. That would be antithetical to everything I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't be lockstep, but we can have much greater conversations, and we can also bring people together and show that we care about these issues. Like certain people think that conservative, I know at least 2 independents who think conservatives are just pussies. 100%. They're like, oh, you guys are just scared. Everyone talks about, when the conservatives get upset,
clearly
that's when shit really going to kick off. And it's like
applicable to everybody else. That might be what they believe.
Nick Fuentes, dude, and that's why they're moving to other far-right people, because they look like they got balls and they look like they're actually doing something. The Groypers get out and do marches and protests, and people respect that shit.
They look like,
and as stupid as it sounds
I can't
to us,
say on YouTube when they do it.
Huh?
I said, and they look like an F word I can't say on YouTube when they do it.
Yeah, but not to us that they do, but not to the people that they're inspiring and bringing into the movement.
I don't believe in resorting to my enemy's tactics to meet my ends. I believe in sticking with the principles.
You say that, but now you sound like the people that say anything that whatever the Nazis did, if you can attribute it to the Nazis, then it's bad, right? Nationalism, Nazis, the family unit. Oh, the Nazis believed in the family unit, Nazis. Like anything. So that's anything the left does that you can attribute to the left. It's a similar thought process.
No, it's not. Does it violate the principles or not? That's it. That's the thought process.
What, marching? Marching doesn't violate principles?
No, marching doesn't violate the principles. I just don't find marching particularly beneficial because it generally leads to things that that do violate the principles, rather.
You got to do stuff that shows that brings in people that care about that stuff. And young people do. Young people see the ones getting out and doing stuff as making change. As stupid as it is, and as much as we know it doesn't do much, they think it does. Let's ask the resident Gen Z.
Yeah, what do you think, Austin?
You gotta get
Do you
out there and
think
be doing stuff and stuff.
Okay.
Do you
Well, that's
agree
been our
with him that
resident
the younger
Gen Z.
generation sees people getting out and protesting as doing stuff? Doing beneficial things for the cause? Yes,
No.
not? No? Yeah?
No.
Oh, yep. Oh, okay.
You do see? Are you being sarcastic, or are you?
I think that we should find a better way to reach them. Either way, I just I don't think that either way. Look, I don't care if people go out and protest. Right? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying I don't think it's effective. But what's definitely not effective is this dude going into the middle of the crowd in Minnesota and now dragging conservatives into this unnecessarily, because we're really not even a part of this. This is between the left and Donald Trump, basically. And
The marketing
why get
is so
involved?
important. They've learned mass marketing. It's something communists have always done, and fascists, because we both know communists and fascists come from the same thing. Why do you think the Nazis wore the cool suits? They would do the parades, and they had like good, cool for the time, like propaganda and stuff. Like the left does the exact same stuff. They have the cool stand up and fight type of propaganda. And as dumb as we think it is, it's effective for young people. They go, that's the side I want to be on. Those are the guys cool. Those guys are cool. They're out there doing stuff. They look cool,
I agree with that to some degree, because there is a reason why younger people or liberals tend to be younger and conservatives tend to be older, because generally when you have nothing, somebody offering you everything sounds great. When you have something, with somebody threatening to take it away, doesn't sound so great.
It's not about having. It's about belonging to a group. It's about that unity of a group, having a sense of belonging. And that's one thing the left does, is they give these kids a sense of belonging. When they join Antifa, they're out there fighting the man. They're fighting for a righteous cause. That's what's so appealing about it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I also think that they have nothing because they're young. They don't have assets. They don't have a house. And so somebody offering to give them all that stuff is a lot more appealing than somebody telling you to work for it.
Dude, they're not even marching about getting out
that's
there.
That's not what they're marching about today. That's one of their main
Huh?
tenets. I said that's not what they're marching about today. No, but that's one of their main tenets is free stuff from the government.
Right. Okay. Maybe their ideology, but I'm talking about when they get out and march, it's because of George Floyd. It's because of that woman that got shot, right? They're out there fighting for a cause. We don't have that.
What would you
You
go
see what I'm
out?
saying?
What would you go out and march for? I get what you're saying. I just don't buy it.
Well, no, we need to find one. That's my whole point. We need to find a cause to rally around, to rally together, to give people a place of belonging. That's the stuff that builds a movement. And that's what Charlie Kirk did. Charlie Kirk did his...
yeah, and he didn't form a protest to do it.
Huh?
What he did was very effective, and he didn't form a protest to do it.
He protested all the time. He would go on marches. What are you talking
just
about?
Actually peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
Is what Charlie Kirk was doing.
He marched when?
When he first started out, they would go and do marches. And then a big portion of his Change My Mind thing was forming a crowd, a big old crowd where people would go to, and then, he would do the debate
to have
thing.
one-on-one
But if you watch any...
Yeah, like 90% of the people at his events were other conservatives.
Yeah, and they would, it'd be thousands
he told
of people
these people to line up, and if you disagree with me, you get to go first. So
that's not a protest. That's all I'm saying. It's
he
different.
is protesting.
No, but he did do
against the mainstream narrative.
That's not what a protest is. He didn't have.
Okay,
he didn't make a bunch of picket signs.
I'll
give you rally. I'll give you rally.
They would get together and march down Main Street.
No, they wouldn't.
In a rally.
I have never once seen a picture of Charlie Kirk leading a crowd down Main Street. I'm asking Grog to find me one, but I have never once seen that.
Oh, if Grog doesn't say it, well.
I'm trying to disprove myself for you, But I have never seen that. And
You
what
already have,
made
sir,
him,
when you opened your mouth.
what made him famous and what made him popular was the one-on-one conversations. I'll agree. It was a rally of
Later,
sorts.
but he built his audience doing that's what I'm talking. He started out when he was 19. And then by the end, the last 4 years is when he started doing the crowd change my mind stuff.
Yeah, when people actually heard of him.
He gave them a place to rally and belong to.
Wouldn't that be indicative of those, if he in fact did marches when he was younger and nobody heard of him, would that not be indicative that those marches were not as effective?
He did. They were effective because he
far
built
more
that
effective?
audience that came to those rallies.
Okay.
I think you're just like really desperate not to be wrong here.
I don't think he ever even led a protest, but
a protest, they call it protest. We call it a rally. Okay. It's the same difference.
there is a remarkable difference between what Charlie Kirk was doing as a rally and a protest.
What was it? What he was wearing?
I shouldn't say remarkable. I should say distinct. Grok says, according to his Wikipedia, which granted is according to Wikipedia, he led one protest specifically, which was a Stop the Steal protest at the Maricopa Tabulation Center in Phoenix, Arizona, November 5th, 2020. The last time conservatives got together for a protest was January 6th, and we all know how well that worked out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's what they called it, but we call it a rally. So if a bunch of guys get together, what would you call this? A bunch of guys get together and march down the street. The left can call it a protest, and the right can call it a rally, right?
But that's not what we call a rally. What we call a rally is a bunch of people getting together to watch conservative, figureheads on stage generally.
Okay. Well,
like we
do it slightly
every day.
I feel like you're being super pedantic so that you don't have to deal with the argument.
What more can I say to deal with the argument?
I've never even heard of that.
Okay, do conservatives get together? Here, let's make it super simple. Do conservatives get together in large groups over an issue?
Didn't they do
sometimes,
that?
Yeah.
Like in the 1850s?
What is that proving, though? That's not the same thing as what the left does.
They think it is. I'm talking, it's not even about them getting together and then they're doing what they would call a rally. They're getting together over a specific issue that they're upset about. Now, because a lot of psychopaths infiltrate that, they don't check each other. There's violence involved, right? When the right does it, you never hear about it. Dude, there was a massive protest at Dodger Stadium 3 years ago, when they had a LGBT rights night. And there was a group called the Sisters of Indulgence or whatever. They're a transgender
I
group.
remember a little bit.
You remember this?
A little bit. I remember the group name.
Yeah. And they got together and then they do a sadomasochist version of the passion of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, where they're whipping him, and it's this very blasphemous thing that upset a lot of Christians. And the numbers were one of the reports came out and there were 200 people showed up to protest. And then you look and you're like, that is absolutely thousands.
Right. And
then another thing said 50,000, but they don't report it.
How effective was it? What did it accomplish?
It was pretty effective. It was pretty effective because they canceled it. They canceled it. So it was pretty fucking effective.
But then they went on and did another one. I guarantee that group is still going around doing shows.
No, but they didn't get that venue. They didn't get to do it at Dodger Stadium before a baseball game.
Okay. The other specific protest that I can point to on the right that I can remember were the Patriot Prayer used to get together in Portland. They did it a few times before too many fights broke out, basically, and
yeah, they got labeled a terrorist group,
and they got labeled a terrorist group because of it. And that's my point exactly. That when
and if you go
conservatives get together and do those sorts of things,
whenever there is a conservative protest, go look at Reddit. They because the conservatives be like, we're meeting here to have a prayer vigil for Charlie Kirk, and on Reddit, this is why they always get violent. On Reddit and like Blue Sky and those left-wing platforms, they put out a notice. Let's meet them. Let's go to the place that they're rallying. Yeah. Conservatives don't do that. And that's why that guy doesn't upset me. He did basically the exact same thing they did. They get together, and the reason that there's always violence against conservatives is because they meet the conservatives there to enact violence upon them, to intimidate them.
So why give them the opportunity?
So
why give them the opportunity when we can have rallies that have security that accomplish the goal without that opportunity? That's what I'm saying.
They show up there too. In fact, there was this really big internet personality. He was having one called It Changed My Mind, and they shot him in the throat.
And?
Yeah, that was to intimidate him. And look how many of the conservatives don't do that anymore. Right? They don't do it.
There's like 50 people that have popped up trying to do it.
Huh?
There's like 50 people that have popped up trying to do it. Nobody has been able to take his place, but
the big
that's because
guns
someone like a
of the
Charlie Kirk
conservative
comes along
movement
so
stopped
often.
doing it. The only one doing it is Steven Crowder now, and he has to. I think he said he pays $120,000 in security.
He has to go to great lengths to provide security.
And if you don't have that $120,000, there's a good chance you're going to get shot, and that's what they want. And there's videos of them coming up to these guys that do the small table things at these like little colleges. They'll come up and go, "Oh, I'd hate to see what happened to Charlie Kirk happen to you.
Yeah,
just be careful." You know, like it's all meant to intimidate and make you not get out. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Keep your head down and let them do whatever they want. Let them burn down your fucking city.
I know.
Let them show
and
up
the only thing I'm
you.
saying is that doing what they do is not going to be effective. For the same reason, that what they do is not effective to conservatives. We don't buy their argument because they get out and rally. We think they're idiots because they get out and rally.
It's to affect the base. It's to rally up the base, give them a place to go, give them a sense of community and belonging. And you bring a guy in who's slightly left wing, and you bring him to this thing, and you give him that sense of community. He comes out a far leftist dude. He starts hanging around these people. It's a good way to network and meet up. Conservatives, we don't have that. Okay? We don't get together and meet up. Not since Charlie Kirk died.
Well, to be fair, that hasn't been an extremely long time, but
6 months.
Right. Hasn't been an extremely long time. But
it's effective.
You're not going to convince me
at what point
that doing what leftists do is going to be beneficial for the conservative
using
party.
your freedom of speech. If they decide that, like this happens all the time and it barely gets reported. You put out a support Trump flag. There's a place in Wilmington, in fact, it's a college town where they have a American flag up and they have a Trump sign up. They've replaced 7 windows where people go and by and just break their windows. It's just constant demoralization.
And who is that benefiting?
It's intimidating them because the last time the guy took down the freaking Trump flag, he just couldn't afford fixing the window.
So stop being intimidated. That doesn't mean you go out and start smashing windows of people that have a Biden sign up.
I didn't say do that, did I?
No, but what you're saying is what conservatives should do is what leftists are doing. Go meet them at these rallies, which is only going to lead to a
I
fight.
say you go out and march despite the vitriol and hate. And because the reason they show up when we have a rally or when we have any type of march, they bring the violence with them.
Yeah, and I think that in doing so, they are hurting themselves more than they are hurting us.
And what happens is somebody like Chris goes, well, we better not do it. It's going to upset them. You know, we better not go out and have that march.
Not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
I could give a shit if it upsets them.
But you don't want them to get violent.
No, I don't want
which you have no
us
control
to get
over.
violent because it's only going to harm us the same way their psychos that get violent harms them and their cause and their movement.
Except we would shut down people that get violent on our side. And we do it all the time. We condemn them. They do not. They go, well, that person was a Nazi. Or, you know, Charlie Kirk did have some really bad views.
You're encouraging the conservatives to move more towards a collective groupthink. As
Not
the
collective
leftists do.
Thing. Get together. So if you get together, like us three, we're having three conservatives here. We're massively disagreeing. Are we in
Two
total
conservatives and an Oklahoman?
Well, we're not in the same.
Right.
We're not in the same room.
Conservative.
We're not in the same room, so maybe we would be violent, but can't say for sure.
I wouldn't get violent with you. I'm not a violent dude.
Kidding.
The only fights I've ever gotten in, I got punched first. So
same.
A lot.
To be fair, I did throw one punch first, but he was going to punch me anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah,
it'd been funnier. It'd been funnier if you were like, but she was big.
No, it was a kid that I was friends with that was mad because I got together with a girl that he had no chance with, but was very upset about. And
wow, me too.
He kept telling me he literally paid a kid that was older than both of us to beat me up. And so when I found him, I dealt with that. But
yeah. When I was
unfortunately not as
a
much
freshman in high school, there was another kid in my class who was dating a girl from the 8th grade. And she had my phone number and my Snapchat. And so she would always be texting me and Snapchatting me. And I would just respond just to be a nice person. And he kept saying, "Oh, you're trying to steal my girlfriend from me." And I was like, "No, she's just texting me."
Sending dick pics
and
is
so
a
then
little
it
extreme
escalated
just to be a nice person.
to where he was like, "Well, I'm going to fight you over it." And I was like, "I mean, I really don't want to fight you over your girlfriend, but if you're going to fight me, I'll fight you, whatever." And so
how embarrassing if you lose when you challenge a guy to fight over your girlfriend.
And that's when he decided that it was go time. So I was like, "Okay, meet me out in the parking lot." And so then we were all the way in the back of the county fair. And now we have to walk all the way to the front, exit, and go to the parking lot. So the entire way that we're walking up there, my friend who was with me is like grabbing any teenage kid that he sees and say, "Hey, there's going to be a fight in the parking lot." So by the time I get to the front, there's like 20 or 30 teenagers also following us to the parking lot. And we get out there, and I waited probably 15 minutes until some random person came up to me and said, he just left with his mom.
Funny how
That's
often
the
that
best
happens.
case scenario.
Yeah, it's kind of funny what kids in high school
where's that
get
voice
fights
coming
over
from?
too. Oh, I'm your conscience.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm your
Keep hearing
conscience.
this. Weird. Oh my gosh, my conscience is talking. Oh crap! I didn't
Stop
mean to be mean
masturbating
to
with the door
skinny
open.
gay kid that was on here a minute ago. I promise.
Lizard.
Tactfully delayed.
Man, he's got that on the ready. You can guarantee within 5 minutes he's going to have that.
Hey, I keep it under 3.
If you say that and you go, hold on, like when they're telling somebody to hold their car, hold.
Just hang on a sec. Hang on. Hang on. Just hang on. Hang on. No, actually, I'm literally right now. My drive. There we go. My drive literally froze, so I couldn't do it.
Oh.
So all my sound effects are on an external drive because my computer's overloaded with audio recordings. But that drive shuts off every like 5 minutes or whatever, and it takes like 3 seconds to wake up, which causes a massive delay.
Yeah, you're gonna get that.
No.
Anyway, you're fucking wrong, and we're gonna move on. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm right. That's my.
That said, we will
All
move
right,
on.
so no, you're totally wrong on this. Austin, who do you agree with more?
Well, you see, I love you both equally.
I control the live stream. Keep that in mind.
Well, this isn't about love, dude.
Look
This
at
about...
Austin playing both sides like a good liberal.
Who do you think's correct? Cater to the
I don't
leftists
pick
in their
a
violent
side,
ways.
and I always win.
That's not true, because if you remember what Russ said, even if you don't choose, you still have made a choice.
Okay, but I'm not choosing.
Silence is violence,
side.
Austin. Silence is violence.
Yeah. So,
I think both
I'll just
sides
give you the
raise
two
good
options. Let me lay it out.
I think he's just trying to get us. I think he's just trying to get us to agree to hate him.
I'm going to steelman Chris's argument. Okay. We should bend over and let the left do whatever they want to our anal region, or we should march amongst ourselves and have groups amongst ourselves and rallies amongst ourselves to make communities that bring in people that are also conservative, maybe at the fence, and help them think, even though we know that it's goofy, give them something to rally towards instead of just being free floating losers on the internet.
Genius.
Yeah, so both sides have good points.
All this. When did you become a centrist over here?
I don't know.
All right.
Let's see. What do we have? Silicon Valley in California. Why the Second Amendment is just fine, but interpreted incorrectly. Liberals think Antifa isn't real, but it is, and it knows how to win. We could probably find some Reddit posts.
I want to hear that one.
All right. Liberals think Antifa isn't real, but it is, and it knows how to win. Notice like 2 months ago that Antifa didn't exist to leftists.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're real, and their violence is the solution.
Yeah.
They know how to march.
This comes from The Nation and was written by Christopher Mathias. Damn, I share a name with this dude, and that really just bugs me.
Your kin.
To protect us all from the violence of the Trump administration, we must defend Antifa. Last week, we learned that the Trump administration believes its secret police can murder anyone it deems a threat. Anyone it deems a domestic terrorist, rather. Renee Nicole Good posed no threat to ICE agents that she was monitoring as a legal observer. Yeah, you know, in the middle of the street, but whatever.
Yeah,
and blocking and trying to run over an officer.
Yeah, but as she pulled away in her car, one of those cops shot her in the head. Yeah, you forgot the part where she hit him hard enough to cause internal bleeding.
Can you say snot instead of...
Yeah, man.
Instead of which word?
She got snotted.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Please.
Just dump it.
I'm going to lose my 3 viewers because of you.
That's all right. We'll just start a new account. But as she pulled away in her car, one of those cops shot her in the head in front of her wife. It was murder, committed in broad daylight, and filmed by multiple bystanders. Yet, afterward, the Department of Homeland Security demanded that we not see what we had seen. In a statement, the agency claimed that the Homeland Security demanded that we not see what we had seen.
I think it's coded.
I think it's coded language. That's a dog whistle if I've ever heard a dog whistle before.
Mm-hmm.
In a statement, the agency claimed that 37-year-old Good, an award-winning poet.
She was.
Did we read? But did we read some of that poetry? Or was that? Did we not? We need to do that. An award-winning poet and mother who is survived by 3 children was a violent rioter who tried to kill law enforcement officers in an act of domestic terrorism. That's something I do disagree with. I don't like that Pam Bondi was out there calling her a domestic terrorist within like 5 minutes. That was just stupid. To justify her murder, Good was labeled a domestic terrorist while her body may have still been warm. If such a dubious designation now marks any of us for death, they called her a domestic terrorist after she was shot, not before. They didn't go out and kill her because she's a domestic terrorist. Therefore, she wasn't marked for death. Anyway, it seems urgent to consider whom else the Trump administration has designated as domestic terrorists. They might need some protection right now, and they don't seem to be getting much help from the Democrat Party. Last month, when Michael Glassheen, a senior FBI official, testified before the House Homeland Security Committee that Antifa was the agency's primary concern in the most immediate violent threat we're facing on the domestic side, Representative Benny Thompson listened intently before leaning into his microphone. So where's Antifa's headquarters? Where's the Proud Boys headquarters? He asked us. The first in a series of simple questions. Where in the United States does Antifa exist? And how many members do they have? That seemed to flux him Glassheen. The FBI agent stumbled through his responses. Well, that's very fluid. It's ongoing for us to understand that. No different than Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Well, the investigations are active. That's a good point. Where's Al-Qaeda's headquarters? Where's ISIS headquarters? Thompson glowered at Glassheen like a disappointed parent. Sir, you wouldn't come to this committee and say something you can't prove, he said. I know you wouldn't do that, but you did. I know you wouldn't do it, but you did. So you would, I guess, is what I meant. It was a bit of political theater from Thompson, and a video of exchange went viral, laying bare the impossibility of Glassheen's task before the committee, providing a factual basis for President Donald Trump's fact-free and anti-Antifa crusade. Trump's September executive order claiming to declare Antifa a domestic terror organization. After all, is as dangerous as it is absurd. There is no federal statute to make such a designation, and Antifa is not even an organization. Moreover, the violence Antifa does commit is rare and has been, and with one exception, non-fatal. That is obviously patently untrue. It is, how many, do either you know off the top of your head how many people died in the BLM riots? It was over 1,000.
Yeah, I think, well, I know it was like several thousand that got injured. I don't know exactly how many died.
I believe that there were, yeah, you're right. I apologize. I believe it was close to 100 people that died over the course of that 3 years, 6 months, or whatever it was.
So I've been
directly
doing some
related
digging
to the riots.
while you were reading that.
Okay.
And I found the GoFundMe for her wife and child.
Oh, yay.
You want to guess how much they've raised?
I don't really want to know. No, a couple million.
The goal was $50K. They raised $1.5 million.
Jeez.
Dude. We need someone in our family to die in a politically charged way. We can get rich.
Something we can rally the left
I also
around.
found the poem supposedly that she wrote that won the award.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
I want to hear the poem.
It's called On Learning to dissect fetal pigs.
That's the title?
That's the title.
It's a poem?
This is about to be just top notch. Does it say who gave the award?
2020 Academy of American Poets Prize.
Okay.
I want back my rocking chairs. Solipsist sunsets and coastal jungle sounds that are pteryx from cicadas and pentameter from the hairy legs of cockroaches.
Oh, nice.
I've donated Bibles to thrift stores, mashed them in plastic trash bags with an acidic Himalayan salt lamp. The post-baptism Bibles, the ones plucked from street corners from the meaty hands of zealots. The dumbed down, easy to read, parasitic kind. Remember more the slick rubber smell of high gloss biology textbook pictures. They burn the hairs inside my nostrils. And salt and ink that rubbed off on my palms. Under clippings of the moon at 2:45 a.m., I study and repeat. Ribosome, endoplasmic, lactic acid, stamen.
She sounds like a genius.
At the IHOP on the corner of Powers and Stetson Hills, I repeated and scribbled until it picked its way and stagnated somewhere I can't point to anymore. Maybe my gut. Maybe there in between my pancreas and large intestine is the piddly brook of my soul. It's the ruler by which I reduce all things now, hard-edged and splintering from knowledge that used to sit, a cloth against fevered forehead. Can I let them both be? This fickle faith and this college science that heckles from the back of the classroom. Now I can't believe that the Bible and Quran and whatever that Bhagavad Gita are sliding long hairs behind my ear like mom used to and exhaling from their mouths. Make room for wonder. All my understanding dribbles down the chin onto the chest and is summarized as life is merely to ovum and sperm and where those two meet and how often and how well and what dies there.
I am become death.
Yeah, like we all feel dumber having heard that. Like, my brain hurts trying to understand. Not trying to understand the poem, because that's a useless goal, but trying to understand how somebody could write that and think, yes, that is a poem.
With a straight face. Yeah, it could happen.
She got the award, too.
Yeah, does it say what
American poetry for you nowadays.
Does it say what the award is?
Oh no, I already closed it.
Let me just real quick compare it with a very short but famous poem, just to compare, other award-winning poets with whatever the hell that was.
Okie doke.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. That is a poem.
Blake. That's Robert Blake.
It's actually Robert Frost, but...
I'm Robert Frost, you bastard.
You were close. You had half of it right.
I got a good poem, and it's about 3,000 years old.
Okay.
I once knew a woman in France. She had no pants to dance. No, not yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me. Your staff and your rod, they comfort me. Wait, that's not it. Yea, though I walk through the valley, The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He leads me by still waters, lays me down in quiet pastures, and restores my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Thou art with me. Thy staff and thy rod, they comfort me. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You never wrote that? David.
That's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, actual poem, right? Not just big words shoved together in a sentence that make literally no sense whatsoever.
Yep.
What was her middle name? Nicole? Renee Nicole Good? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find her poem. I don't know what her pen name would be, though.
Renee Nicole Macklin. Macklin.
Sounds kinky.
Macklin?
Macklin.
Maclain. Is that what you said?
Macklin.
Oh. Renee. Oh.
The second E in Renee also has a little thing on top of it.
Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Nothing comes up when you search poets.org, which is apparently the website of that organization, for Renee Nicole Good or Renee Good or Renee Nicole Macklin or Renee Macklin.
Try searching on learning to dissect fetal pigs.
Say it again.
On learning to dissect fetal pigs. Two S's in dissect.
That's why I was okay.
This guy forgot how to spell.
Here's a good one. One of my
There
favorites.
you go. 2020 Academy of American Poets Prize on Learning to Dissect Fetal Pigs by Renee Nicole Macklin. I don't.
Out of the night that covers me. Oh, sorry.
Of course, it was 2020.
Out of the night that covers me, black as pitch from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell touch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Who was that?
I wrote that.
Oh, nice.
No, I'm just kidding. No, that's Invictus by William Ernst Henley.
Anyway, continuing with the article. He says, still as satisfying as it was to watch Glasheen squirm, this widely shared gotcha moment bothered me. The subtext of Thompson's question was a suggestion that Antifa might not really exist at all. What if Glasheen, when asked where in the United States does Antifa exist, had accurately pointed to known Antifa groups in Oregon, Georgia, California, and elsewhere? What if Antifa did have a headquarters? Would that warrant it being labeled a domestic terrorist organization? I interviewed roughly 60 very real, very human Antifa activists for my new book, To Catch a Fascist, The Fight to Expose the Radical Right. I bet that's a thrilling book. What if Glasheen had started naming some of these activists before the committee? Would Thompson and other Democrats rush to their defense against this revolting revived Red Scare? I fear not. For the past decade, Democrats and the wider liberal and centrist establishment in the United States have often responded to escalating MAGA hysteria about Antifa with a degree of dismissiveness, incuriosity, and snark. Quote, this group, Antifa, Are they in the room with you right now, Mr. President? Said Eric Swalwell. After Trump signed the anti-Antifa executive order. In another post, Representative Dan Goldman from New York challenged the president to, quote, name one member of Antifa. Journalist John Harwood wrote that Antifa was made up, while former Meet the Press host Chuck Todd said on his podcast, I don't even know what Antifa is. I know what the definition of Antifa is. There is no group. And Joy Behar, the host of The View, once made fun of Republicans for being, quote, scared of this fictitious idea of Antifa, a thing that doesn't even exist. It is true that Antifa of MAGA's fever dreams is fiction. For years, right-wing propagandists have worked tirelessly to manufacture an Antifa boogeyman, baselessly blaming Antifa for mass shootings, wildfires, and train derailments. They spread preposterous rumors about busloads of Antifa roaming the countryside looking for white-owned businesses to burn, and Antifa super soldiers preparing to decapitate white babies. Where do they even... Don't get me wrong, there are idiots, on 4chan and in the far, reaches of the deep right on the internet that say dumb things. I don't even think they say things that dumb. Anyway,
the goal is the straw man, dude.
Yeah, during the George Floyd uprisings of 2020, the Trump administration falsely asserted Antifa was responsible for fomenting the mass demonstrations, and in the fallout from the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, Republican lawmakers initially rushed to blame Antifa provocateurs for the violence, before eventually deciding instead to take credit for it and celebrate the bloody insurrection. Nobody died except for one protester who was killed, or who had a heart attack, rather, by a flashbang, by the way. Anyway.
You know what's funny? They're so, I was thinking about this today. They're so quick to be like, oh, she didn't deserve to die. She was just about her own business. But remember the woman that died at January 6th? And how they were like, oh, she's basically a terrorist. And it doesn't matter what she was doing.
So
to make a parallel
that's
there.
a good example too. That's a good example too of at least my consistency on Renee Good. Do either of you? How do you guys feel about the shooting of? I forget her name. Ashley Babbitt.
Aha. Yeah, Babbitt. So the way I understand it happened, she was just sitting there minding her own business, and she happened to be at a protest.
That's not how it happened.
By the cops.
She was actively walking through a broken window into a hallway that was supposed to be secured.
Okay.
And it's tragic, and while I don't think that it was necessary to shoot, I actually don't blame the cop in that situation. She had no business doing exactly what she was doing in that moment.
Yeah, except for the other people that got through there.
If he was told, she was the first one going into this area. It was a specific hallway that was closed by
the rest of them.
An interior door.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because once he shot her, they stopped trying to go through the door. That's why. Here's what I'm saying, okay? Is if he was told to watch this hallway and don't let anybody through, then he was justified in shooting her. Now, if he was just deciding to post up in that hallway for no reason, we don't know because there was never an investigation, right? But if he just decided to post up in that hallway and shoot the first person he saw, fine. But if he was told not to let anybody through here, then he was doing his job.
So instead of like tasing her or something, he shot her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I bring this up just to point out that they called her just a terrorist and she deserved to die just for being on the premises. Meanwhile,
right,
somebody actively trying to hit a cop with her car is an innocent baby.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with the general point. Austin, did Ashley Babbitt deserve to get shot?
I mean, I don't, people make choices and such.
That was the best non-answer I think I've heard you say.
Now I can't wait to hear that interview that he did today. I wonder what that went like.
A lot of that. Mm-hmm.
He just like, yeah, things happen and stuff. So anyway.
Things are just always happening.
It's just one of those things, man.
Sometimes you're, going to get a McDouble from McDonald's.
Sure.
And, a particular group of people happened to also be there. And the fries were a little too cold. And
oh, no.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go back there and make your own fries. Despite these constant distortions, the truth about Antifa, what it actually is, where it comes from, what it's accomplished, is still spectacular. Yeah, what it's accomplished is still spectacular. Antifa, a shortening of the word anti-fascist, refers to a decentralized underground network, kind of like a terrorist network, of radical leftists dedicated to destroying the far right. So far leftists dedicated to destroying far rightists. That's it. Its activists are mostly anarchists, communists, and socialists, and though they might differ in ideology, they all subscribe to the specific militant tradition of anti-fascism, holding that fascists need to be fought by any means necessary. Although Antifa groups are very real and often collaborate, there is not an overarching organization. There are no leaders, no hierarchies, no organization charts or headquarters. Just because they're idiots doesn't mean that they don't exist. Decisions are arrived at locally and collectively, with no rich donors to appease. What little money Antifa needs is taken from the shallow pockets of its practitioners, mostly working and middle-class Americans who keep their activism a secret to prevent reprisals from the fascists they fight. The Antifa activists I talked to were a mix of veterans of older militant groups like Anti-Racist Action, formed in the 80s and 90s to kick Nazis out of the punk scene, and newer arrivals to the radical left, everyday Americans who suddenly felt their communities were under siege, and who had lost faith in the ability and will of their institutions, including the Democrat Party, dun dun dun, to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Many have had personal brushes with fascists, like a Texas woman I talked to who was struggling to console a friend whose family member was among the 22 Latino people massacred by a white supremacist inside an El Paso Walmart. I'm not familiar with that, so I can't comment on it. Many of the activists I talked to were queer, watching warily as the GOP adopted genocidal anti-trans language. Genocidal.
Yep.
And still others identified as rednecks and soccer moms, radicalized by news events like the deadly 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Yeah. Though Antifa is most often associated in the public imagination with violence, few of the activists I talked with had ever punched a Nazi, though most would have no moral quandaries in doing so. Yeah, so they haven't had the opportunity yet because they're P words. Anyway. The activists I met were mostly spies and researchers who had formed something altogether extraordinary and I would argue grossly underappreciated. They created an informal grassroots underground intelligence agency across America, organized around one guiding principle. If you're a fascist, you don't get to hide behind a mask. Boy, that's ironic, isn't it? They literally define themselves by hiding behind a mask.
Yeah, so I think my opinion on this matter is that the leftists need to be deported.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not hiding behind any
he came out with an opinion. I'm very surprised here.
Yeah, he did so behind a mask, though, and I think we need to demask him.
That's anti-Semitic.
Your screen is next to him, so if you could reach into his screen and snatch that mask out of his hands, that'd be nice.
Uh-oh. I'm going to give my best. I'm actually outside his house. Let me run in there real quick.
Oh, wow. You got it.
You're supposed to bring your arm in from the side of the frame.
Give it back.
I followed anti-fascist spies as they went undercover at great personal risk into white supremacist groups that burst onto the scene in the Trump era. These spies gathered intelligence that would go on to unmask or dox neo-Nazi police officers, politicians, pastors, professors, teachers, a therapist, EMTs, businessmen, soldiers, and other men in positions of authority and power, many of whom would lose their jobs as a result, and many of whom were not actually far right. They just might have accidentally made a sign that was perfectly okay at one point in time, but then Antifa magically decided it was a far-right extremist symbol.
Mm-hmm. Like
Thousand.
this right here. Far-right extremist symbols.
Will you stop
right
with your
there.
racist dog whistles? This show
There.
is not for you to promote hate.
Even right there, that's the Pledge of Allegiance of America.
That's the Pledge of Allegiance to America.
I can't believe you would have such a hateful document hanging on your wall like you're proud of it.
I got another one right there and there hanging on my wall.
We're going to have to do something about this, Alan.
Yeah, I think you.
Oh, look, now I'm next to him.
Don't after so many American flags, don't they start canceling each other out?
No, it amplifies.
That's what I read. Then you need at least one upside down.
I've even got history books from almost before, from before the Department of Education.
Pretty spiffy, bud.
I'm a far-right extremist.
Thousands of secret neo-Nazis have been identified by Antifa over the last 10 years. This tactic, combined with chasing Nazis off the street and deplatforming them from social media...
Secret neo-Nazi. You know where they're gonna go, you know.
Led directly to the... You're fine. Destruction of various white supremacist groups, including Identify Evropa and many other groups that marched in Charlottesville. Antifa is winning. Richard Spencer, the neo-Nazi best known for getting punched during Trump's inauguration, famously conceded at the end of 2017. Okay. Antifa's intensive research into these groups made them Cassandras. Any idea what that means?
Cassandra?
Yeah, it's probably like a version on Karen. It's like a new type of Karen type of name.
Okay. Seeing before
That's
most...
what I think. I don't know.
Seeing before most mainstream pundits and Democratic politicians that American conservatism was taking the hardest of right turns, that what was once considered fringe was not fringe at all, and that the United States was likely veering toward some new iteration of outright fascism. Antifa warned that the people they were spying on and sometimes battling in the street might one day attain power, and then would no longer need to wear masks. Again and again, however, Antifa was dismissed by liberals and mainstream pundits as hysterics or radicals or extremists or worse. Not even a thing. What?
I don't know if this is what they're referring to, but Cassandra was a mythological Greek. She's from Greek mythology. She was a Trojan princess, daughter of King Priam and Queen Hecuba.
That sounds right.
During the Trojan War. The god Apollo gave her the genuine gift of prophecy.
That sounds right, because they were calling Antifa members, the secret intel Antifa members, Cassandras.
Right.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, they wrap up the article by saying, as we saw with the justifications for killing good in Minneapolis, Trump's executive order targeting Antifa was only the beginning. The first part of a larger project to crush the left and rest the president's opponents, and the rest of the president's opponents. MAGA is counting on liberals throwing Antifa under the bus so that it can move on to other targets. To protect us all, liberals owe Antifa solidarity, not derision, admitting that Antifa exists, that it's real, and that it is worth defending would be a good place to start.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. Oh, hang on.
That concludes my poetry for this evening. Look at Alan with the sound effects.
Yeah, I think every single one of those people needs to be arrested and
what they're literally saying is
considered a domestic terrorist. And after they're arrested, we will deport them.
If your plan
What
is
if they don't want to be considered a domestic terrorist?
I don't care.
But if they
I don't care what they think.
strongly disagree.
Okay.
What they're literally saying is
Here's a
that
question. What if they get like violent about it? Chris says you can't do anything if they're going to react violently. So,
well,
if they react violently on your property, you can shoot them in the face several times.
no, out in the street, out where you go
we're
get your
on
groceries and take your
In
kids. If they're going to get
self-defense.
upset,
That is
you
legal.
have to say in Minecraft after that.
In Minecraft, guys. In Minecraft. Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
So how many people we up to on
So
TikTok
douchey.
now?
0.
You ran them all away.
Yeah, I did.
We've gotten 74 total views, but
What?
0 currently watching at this time.
What that article is
also stream the kick.
What that article is literally saying is that the right's going far right, so we should go far left. As if they're not far left already, but
Mm-hmm. They think we're playing tug of war.
I guess, yeah.
No. They have no proportionality in their response, and that's because they're winning. They engage in this like our American military does, right? So our American military is like, if you got machetes, we bring guns. If you got guns, we bring bombs. If you got bombs, we nuke you.
All right.
That's the word. I mean, that's what I
I'm just
heard.
saying, things seem a little unstable right now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't considered it before, you should consider now going to a gun shop and asking the gun owner about guns that are good for carrying for self-defense. So
it's not
guns that are good for, like revolution. I mean, in Minecraft.
There's a follow-up to that, which is if you're going to buy a gun, spend $500 on the gun, if we're talking about a handgun, and spend $1,000 on ammo, and go train with it extensively, and then keep spending $1,000 on ammo over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
Are you writing this down, Alan?
I got all up here. I can remember 10 words at a time.
During COVID, ammo was hard to get, right? And so I had to start ordering my cases of 9mm and stuff. And so
what a fruitcake, 9mm.
I bought a gun online.
Right, Austin? Only losers use 9mm, right, Austin?
Well, I said 9mm specifically because this case that I got was 9mm. But I ordered a gun online, and when you buy a gun online, you have to send it to your closest gun shop, right? Your closest FFL.
Yes.
So that you can do your background
Totally.
check and all that stuff. And so the case of ammo that I ordered with it went to the gun shop. And great guy. He does a bunch of, pro 2A stuff here in Washington. He's very proactive in that sense, and I appreciate that. Of course, it is his business. So there's that. But anyway, his wife, who is also very pro 2A, was the one working in the gun shop, and she said, "Hey, you got this package that came in," and I said, "Oh yeah, I apologize. I ordered a gun that should be coming in with it, and they wouldn't let me separate the order, so it had to go to you guys." And she's like, "No problem, just come pick it up." And so I came pick it up, and she's like, "Is that ammo?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Why would you order a case of ammo?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "That's a lot of ammo." I'm like, "Yeah, for like tomorrow." It blew my mind that the gun shop owner thought that 1,000 rounds was a lot of ammo. Really? They're going to freeze right now at the end of the show? Hang on, guys. Discord crashed. Yeah, Discord
we
crashed.
almost had him that close.
We were scheming.
I know. Always conspiring against me. That's all right. I still love you guys.
Not against you, against the
shop
demon
owner
that
was
controls
surprised that you had that much ammo.
He was
1,000
surprised.
rounds.
Yeah, like he thought that was a lot of ammo. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I felt very, I felt very disappointed.
A lot. This is totally a lot. I definitely don't have more at my house already.
No, it's just interesting that a gun shop owner would think that's a lot to me.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was another shooter, it wouldn't be that shocking.
And you're like, yeah, I think you have a lot of guns.
Yeah. I wish I would have. No, I was too like taken aback. I was like, what do you mean it's too much ammo? Like, we'll shoot this by the end of the weekend. See, and that's the thing. Leftists always want to.
Every human is only allowed to own 10 rounds at a time. After you shoot those 10 rounds, you can go to a gun store, buy 10 more.
Yeah, see, the left wants to, in states like mine, they want to limit how much ammo you can buy at a time to 50 or 100 rounds or whatever. But by limiting the amount of people ammo can buy, you're just limiting how much they can train. Like, I buy a lot of ammo.
I
don't have a lot of ammo. I buy a lot of ammo.
Ammo buys a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
No,
during COVID, I used to go by this gun shop a lot. And it was a smaller gun shop, literally ran by one guy. Dude worked like 13 hours a day running this shop, only closed it on Sunday. Awesome dude.
Was it Lieutenant Dan?
Great guy. But he told me during COVID, I'm looking for anywhere that can sell me ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, I was like, so do you have any ammo to sell? And he's like, dude, right now I'm only selling ammo to people like my own family, because every ammo shipment that he received or ordered, either the whole thing was stolen or half of it comes missing, and couldn't get any of the ammo to actually make it to his store.
The shops around here at that time, they would only sell you 2 boxes of ammo if you bought a gun. So anybody that bought a gun, you could buy ammo.
Yeah, we had to.
I guess as employees, it would have to be as employees, right? Who else would have access?
The people that are, shipping it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking like the delivery truck.
Yeah, I had to go to. You had to go to Academy and be there on the day the ammo came in, and they would literally like unload it from the truck, and everyone took a ticket.
Yep.
And they called your number, and you got to buy like 1 box per caliber. So you could buy 1.9, 110, 145, whatever, but you only got 1 per caliber. So
that's how.
And if they ran out of ammo before they got to your number, then you just waited in line for no reason.
And those that lived through 2008, or excuse me, 2012, I think it was, know that it's not the first time it's happened. It'll happen again. I don't know why they don't. Ammo stores for a long time, so I don't know why manufacturers during lulls, like there is now, they don't, store some up so that when that happens, they have it. They don't have to increase. Because the problem that the ammo manufacturers have, right, is that every time a leftist gets into power, basically, there's a huge demand on guns and ammo. Everybody goes out of stock because it's all bought up. And then the ammo manufacturers have to ramp up production really fast to try and meet demand. And then what happens is once they finally meet demand, people stop panic buying. And so now they've just spent all this money on ramping up, and now nobody's buying ammo. And that's just an endless cycle in the last 20 years or so. But if they just, in lulls, stored ammo in a warehouse, made a little bit extra and kept storing it in a warehouse, that would never be an issue. But whatever.
Do you guys ever fired old ammo? That shit's scary.
I fired old handmade ammo, and that was one of the dumbest things I ever did.
My dad and I used to just make ammo all the time. We'd go up and rake up all the brass and then make our own ammo.
Oh yeah.
And those were better rounds than what came in the box, because they put under what the capability is of the round for the barrel to shoot. And that's a safety thing, right? So you can put plus P in it. The fun thing is, though, when you get you buy some old rounds. We had some rounds for this. It was a special caliber, and I cannot remember think it's like a 40-70. And so you got older rounds. These were like 30-year-old rounds. And I swear the bullet came out of the gun like that.
Well, that's
like,
that's what almost killed Kentucky Ballistics, because he was firing those 50 cal slaps that had been around for
he fired
who knows how long.
Those were supercharged though. They supercharged those rounds. That's what killed him. I mean, that's what hurt him.
And it blew up the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which has happened.
Yep.
It is rather impressive, actually, though, when you consider it, how few errors there are in modern ammo manufacturing, with how many rounds they make and stuff. I mean, the fact that we can buy a box of ammo off the shelf and rely on the fact that it's not going to blow up in our faces 99.999% of the time is rather impressive when you consider how little of a margin of error it takes to screw it up. If that bullet is seated too deep, it could blow up the barrel. If there's just a little too much powder, literally grains of powder, it can blow up the barrel. If the powder
that's like
is
the
mixed
thing about the 80. The smaller round, like the 9mm, the most common rounds.
Right.
You don't worry about counterfeit with those because they're so cheap. But the more expensive rounds, 44 Magnum, 50 cal, that kind of stuff. That's when you get the counterfeit crap. And that's scary because those are some big freaking rounds to blow up in your face.
Do you guys shoot remanufactured or like small brand ammo? There's a lot of people that just will not shoot it at all.
I used to go to luckygunner.com a lot, and you'd get
what off Lucky Gunner? I've ordered from Lucky Gunner before, I think.
Yeah, they got a lot of cheap rounds on Lucky Gunner.
But specifically, like, so Phoenix, they're a lot bigger than they used to be. But Phoenix is one of those brands where they make special. They started making ammo for competition, and so they were like lower powered, so there's less recoil and stuff. Because you're just shooting steel, so it just needs to fire accurately, not super hot. But they make ammo. But they only make, they're just a small company. They don't make tons. You order directly from them. And then there's companies like, I think it's Freedom Munitions. Forgive me if I'm wrong and this is your company, but I think it's Freedom Munitions that makes remand rounds. And there's a couple others.
I had to order from them during COVID, and I didn't have any problems with the rounds.
Well, most of those companies, like Freedom, they make remand rounds and new rounds.
Okay.
I've fired both. Remand and new, obviously, from some of these companies. I don't see any issue. Like, either the company's trustworthy or it's not. And some people just think that you're increasing the probability drastically. But the only thing a remand round is it's a once fired shell. But that's not uncommon. Most 5.56 you buy is out of, or not most, but a lot of 5.56 you can buy is out of once used shells, even the stuff that's commercial. I don't know. It just, some people refuse to do it. Wow. Oop. You know what? Sorry, that was the live stream.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mostly shoot
Freedom Munitions. That's what I was thinking. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Freedom.
There's a brand that I like to buy. No, I can't. Herbert, I think, is one of them. I like to buy 9mm, and now they have 5.56. So I was going to try that out.
Who?
It's pretty cheap stuff.
Which company?
Herbert. Pretty sure.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Okay, let me go just, go look at my ammo real quick.
Everybody's lying
already
about
promised not to look.
Apparently, another brand that exists is Scorpion. Not familiar.
I've never used them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. I haven't heard of them. But you literally can't click anything on their website, which is weird.
That's a little sus.
Oh wait. No, there we go. Okay. I don't know what the issue was, but But yeah, I just, you know, if it's made with modern manufacturing standards, if they have a good reputation, I don't see running into
they
an
look
issue.
like they're
So
pretty
I'm the
effective.
idiot.
If
It's Herters.
Oh,
and then the other one is
let me pull that
Winchester.
Because one of the, I think if Herters is the one I'm thinking of, don't shoot it.
Uh-oh. I've shot a lot of their rounds.
Oh, no. Herters is okay. Yeah, I've shot a lot of Herters.
Yeah.
A lot of this 100 or 150 or 200 round box or whatever it is of 5.56. No, there's one. So during COVID, of course, anytime there's a shortage on ammo, that's when you tend to get these brands that are imported or whatever, brands that we're not familiar with, right? If anything, I would think a big manufacturer you're more likely to get an error from just simply out of probability. But anyway, there's a particular brand, and it looks similar to that Herters box, and it was 9mm that I got. And I don't know if it was the bullet or the casing, but they were too big for the barrel. And so I fired a couple, and I noticed that there was a ton of recoil for 9mm. I was like, what the hell? And then I ran them in a different handgun, and they all started jamming because that one had a whatever it's called, competition barrel or whatever. I forget what it's called, but a more it's a more accurately made barrel, basically. And it wouldn't even fit. Like, it wouldn't fit in the barrel. And so I had to throw away 150 rounds. I mean, obviously I didn't throw it away. I recycled the components, but
yeah.
Big old waste. I was pissed.
I bet.
I'll let you guys know what it was when I find it, because I do still see it on the shelf occasionally, but it's not as common now that all the name brands are back in stock.
Yeah, I've mainly used Winchester for most of the time, but now that ammo is back to being normal, I do like the Herberts because it's usually, or the whatever. Because it's usually like sometimes $20 cheaper, depending. Yeah. Like, obviously, if you like look at a 50 round box of 9mm from both, it's like $5 difference. But when you scale it up to like the 150, 200 round boxes, it gets to sometimes $23 difference. So,
especially in times like today, like, it always makes sense to just order it by the case. It's the cheapest you're going to get it, and you don't have to. One, it's shipped to your door, which is obviously more convenient.
Yeah,
and two,
the
you
UPS
don't have to
drivers
screw
love
around
delivering
with...
ammo.
Hey, I bet. I also know they
got to
love
get a
delivering
workout
dog
somehow.
food too.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah, especially in those big boxes that Chewy sends them in, so they're really, unwieldy and cumbersome.
FedEx does Chewy, actually.
Oh, I see. UPS drivers couldn't hack it, huh?
No, we do, or they do Purina.
Purina?
And Petco.
Oh, that's the good stuff, though. That's what I feed my dog, the Purina Pro Plan or whatever. Anyway.
And UPS drivers also typically love the first week of January when everyone gets their act together and decides they're going to have a home workout kit.
Start getting dumbbells delivered.
Yeah, dumbbells and the stair steppers and treadmills and shit. Nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we love
I
that.
think
They
UPS drivers
love
are
that
just
stuff,
big
guys.
I think UPS drivers are just big babies. And they should
do
suck it
bitch
up.
a lot. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they bitch a lot for sure.
Amazon, everyone knows Amazon drivers is where it's at.
Buy it, invest in precious metals.
Yes. Generally speaking,
investments. Gold, silver, nothing compared to lead.
Generally speaking, how many rounds of ammo do you keep for each caliber that you have? Ideally. I understand you can't always have ideally as much as you'd like to, but...
I like to keep, a couple hundred around, 500, 600 rounds per, except for like my 308. Since it's just a hunting rifle, I may only have like 100, 150 for that at a time.
Makes sense.
What about you, Alan? Or are you a big gun guy? I really don't know. Are you a big gun guy?
I have a big gun. And then I also like firearms. So
I try to keep 1,000 rounds, just an unopened case for each caliber. 9mm and 5.56, I tend to have a little more of on hand at any given time, usually just because I shoot so much of those two calibers. But there's also been times where, I can either only afford to have a couple hundred rounds or can only find a couple hundred rounds or just end up shooting everything I have pretty much.
Yeah.
The only exception to that is my carry ammo. The carry ammo, obviously, I don't keep 1,000 rounds of that. I keep enough to replace the ammo in the mags, and then I'll order more.
Yeah, I usually keep like 100 or so rounds of hollow points. And every couple of months, I like to shoot through all the magazines I have loaded.
Yep.
Hollow points and replace them.
Yeah, you should, if you're carrying, whether it's open or concealed or whatever, you should try to shoot those rounds at least once a year at the minimum. And that's probably, it should probably be every 6 months. Just so that, because especially what happens is the top round, because it tends to be the one that you load into the gun every morning and then you unload and put back in the top of the magazine every night for a lot of people. And that top round will eventually get set back in the casing from doing that over and over and over. And so keep an eye on that as well. Some people they'll cycle it and they'll just keep, putting the rounds farther down in the magazine so that it's not the same one being chambered every time. You can do that too.
Right.
Just keep an eye on that top round and make sure it's the same as the rest of them. And then just change them every 6 months.
I gotta say, shooting guns is fun for the whole family. Like you get your like the younger, like under 10, you can put them on a 22, and teach them gun safety and all that stuff, or even a pellet gun. Although they get mad that they have to pump the dang thing up. Pump it for me. I want to go 13 pump.
It. Louder. Pump it.
They have CO2 ones now that you don't have to pump.
Oh, not my family.
Or electric ones too.
You earn the right to shoot that.
Yep. Yeah. Really? Are we really doing this twice? That is the first time, I think, in a stream that we've had to do this twice. By the way, guys, don't forget to join the Discord in the link below. There you guys are. I guess it's time to wrap up, because that's the first time we've ever had to reset Discord twice in one live stream.
Man, you need to change your automatic thing. Yes, I know the guest audio is poor.
I deleted that.
No, it's still there.
Oh, shoot.
And you guys haven't moved me up into the guest thing. Into the co-host thing. I'm still a guest like some freaking loser.
Check it now. See if it's still there.
Everyone in the chat. Press 1
in the Discord.
If you think Alan should be promoted to host in the Discord.
No, I run this
Press
shit.
2.
Okay, I run this
shit. Stay as just a guest.
Basically, it's good. Should I kick the other two losers off and just do it by myself? Where I just
but can you?
You just freeze.
No, I didn't.
Okay. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
It was almost meant to be. Right. Why don't you, real quick, before we wrap up,
ones or twos?
Oh, hold on. Before we wrap up, Alan, why don't you pitch your idea one more time for Saturday shows?
Oh, what I want to do is just do TikTok raids on far left chat groups.
So basically,
and just have conversations. Not anything malicious. Not not nothing like
Not going to
Andrew
harass
Wilson
them.
does, where he goes and picks a fight. I just want to do a thing where we see where we agree. I want to find where we can agree from conservative to leftist. That's what I want. I just want to find common ground.
Fair enough. So basically, we
would
hop
they
on here.
see that we're not as crazy as they must think we are, and we can see if they're as crazy as I think they are. So,
what we would do, what that would actually look like, is we would hop on here, and then we would cruise TikTok for these channels that Alan says exist, which I believe they do. I just haven't seen them. And wait for them
and
to
I'll go through and look them
be
up.
willing to
Like
talk
before
to
the
us.
show, I'll find them.
If they would be willing to talk to all three of us.
Huh?
I said if they will be willing to talk to all three of us.
No, what it would be is we'd take turns. So like I'd get one, and then you would get another one, and then Austin would go on there and go,
Okay.
Oh. They'd think he was
That's fine,
agreeing
too.
with them. Yeah.
The only other issue I have with that, so if you want to see us do that on Saturdays, leave a comment. You can send an email directly to jbu@usa.com. You can leave a comment on the X page, x.com/jbu_show. The only other issue, though, Alan, that I see is I'm not sure how we would show the feed for the...
That's where Austin comes in.
For the X channel itself, or for the TikTok channel with us on it. I don't know. I'm sure we can figure it out,
Austin
but
would
that's
have to
something we
share
will
his
have to
screen.
work on.
In Austin, we trust.
Anyway, we'll figure it out one way or another if you guys want to do it. So let us know. Otherwise, we'll continue. We'll probably come up with something anyway, otherwise. But for now, you can find us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday regularly. And then we're usually going, other days of the week. The goal
We get
is
all those 30 viewers
Wednesday through
the
Sunday.
week.
Monday and Tuesday, we have decided are off. We haven't quite stuck to that recently because we've been wanting to try things like the multi-stream and stuff like that. But Monday and Tuesday
Is
are
Monday or
generally the deadest.
Tuesday? Like, because I think it's Wednesday and Thursday.
Was it Wednesday and Thursday we decided we're off? Maybe, yeah. It might have been.
I decided I'm going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And
You're coming
Monday through Thursday.
Austin appears when he feels like it.
Record my interviews. So
Austin appears
if
when
I
he
have
feels
nothing
like
going on and you guys are streaming, I might tune in, but my days will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Can I co-pilot your interviews?
So let's put this way.
Maybe.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when you can find all three of us on the show. And then various other days of the week, you can find Alan and I, and theoretically other guests in the future, depending on who we get for that week.
Depending
Alan,
if they're streaming with their wife on
OnlyFans.
What's the name of that thing?
OnlyFans? Is that what you're going for? OnlyFans?
No.
Oh.
What the heck is the name of that? It's not Twitch. It's the other one.
I don't know. There's lots of them. TikTok?
No.
YouTube?
It's a game one.
Oh.
Anyway.
I don't know. If it's not Rumble, does it matter? Anyway. By the way, if you can, watch us on Rumble. X is okay too, where we can actually say what we want to say without having to censor ourselves, as Austin was yelling at us for earlier. Because YouTube and TikTok especially are very unhappy with that. Alan, where can they find you when we're not on live?
Message me at FirstAlan2 on X under American Satirist. Send me a private message or just message me on the thing. And especially if you're a leftist person who wants to have a reasonable conversation, hit me up.
Yes. I doubt you're watching this show this long if you are, but if you are, legitimately we'd like to have you on. And we're not gonna jump on you either. If we have you on, we're not all three gonna dogpile. It'll be a polite conversation.
No, this is like a chance to just hang out,
Yeah.
Austin, where can they find you?
MillerTalk.substack.com. MillerTalk_pod on X and Threads. and Miller Talk pretty much everywhere else. And
There
if
you
you
go.
would like to sponsor this channel, you can send me an email to millertalkpodcast@gmail.com.
No. You sponsor the Just Between Us. Your Austin crap can just, unless I'm coming on, and then it's really cool that
and
you
if
do
you
it.
want
But
dick-
other than that,
If you want dick pics in exchange for rent, you can message Alan at firstallen2 on X.
I got all of Chris's dick pics. He sends them daily. Okay.
Hey, once a day. Eventually, I'm gonna get hit.
I get message from these guys. They're like, "Can you tell your boy to stop sending dick pics to me?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry."
You can find myself and these two idiots on this show, on Rumble, on X, on YouTube. JBU
You heard that,
underscore
Austin? He
show,
called you an idiot.
or Just Between Us. Anchor.fm/JBU is where you can find all of the links for the show and all of the archive for the audio podcast. Don't forget to check out the audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find them. And if you are listening to this on audio, this is a live show now that we do on Rumble and YouTube and everywhere else. With that, Alan's going to take us out with a prayer.
Yep.
Do it.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
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 All right. With that, my name is Chris.
I'm Alan.
I'm Austin.
And this has been
No, you're not.
Just Between Us.
Bye.
Okay.
Wait, I can want to be a little bit louder.
Yeah.
This is only between us.
This is Just Between Us.
This is just between us.